Yo. Did that freeze for y'all?
Nah, I was
didn't freeze for me.
Okay, all right. I was having freezing moments. I don't know what was that all about. But anyway, look, man, welcome back to the DraftNerds Podcast. We are back. Y'all know this is our season. This is our season. This is where we climb up out of our little, rabbit holes, and we come to you live to talk ball. We are just weeks away from getting down to Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. My guy George, my guy Jay here. I'm hearing you guys have already got those Airbnbs booked, ready to go.
Yes,
we
sir.
just booked our hotel yesterday, and so we are ready to get it popping. Man, so much to talk about.
So much. From travel plans to coaching cycles, to the draft that we all like to cover.
Bro, when I tell you,
time of the year.
I don't even know where to start today. Like, we was just having a pre-show conversation, and in our pre-show conversation, we was like, yo, where do we start? Like, there's so much going on. We got the draft coming up. There's players declaring, like, with every minute, there's a new player declaring for the draft. The Senior Bowl roster is just insane this year. And then on top of that, coaches are getting fired and interviews are being scheduled. It is wild west out there in the NFL right now. And this couldn't have happened at a better time for us, because this is our season, right? Like, when the NFL regular season winds down, that's when we pick up, because you got the East-West Shrine game, you got the Senior Bowl, you got the NFL Combine, and it's going to come fast. It's rapid, right? It just doesn't. It's like we're going to be in April, just like that, and we're going to be talking about welcome to the 2026 draft, and the picks will be in, and so let's start with just like a little topic I want to start with, just called like what's on your mind. Like, we're gonna go around the room, just what's on your mind, because there's so many things, but what's the one thing that's on your mind? It's like you just like I got to get this out. I'll start with you, Jordan.
Oh man, I'm mad that Trinidad Chambliss isn't going out.
that's to be determined.
Obviously,
no, it's already been established yesterday.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Approved.
John Harbaugh is on my mind. Obviously, as the Ravens guy. Obviously, the draft's on my mind. Ruben Bain's still my dude. But more than anything, what's on my mind is, man, I really wish Trinidad Chambliss was in this class. And I really wish I could take him above Ty Simpson, who just declared.
Oh, my goodness, man. Yeah, that is something we definitely going to talk about that. All right, Jay, what's on your mind, man?
Well, to my knowledge, all that's happened with Chambliss is that he said that if he does get his eligibility extended, then he is returning to Ole Miss. He's still awaiting that decision, last I heard, but
no, it came through yesterday. He got approved.
No, yesterday was just that. Like, I saw like 6 hours ago. He's feeling frustrated as he's waiting the NCAA decision.
Okay, I thought I read something yesterday that said the NCAA has decided to approve his final season, and that he is going back to school.
I feel like if you're posting stuff from that personal account, though, you've heard something. Like, I'm going to stand on it. Players got all the power in the world with NIL and the different worlds we live in now.
I think players are suing the NIL, the NCAA all the time. That's what happened with Diego Pavia. Like, so, like, there's still a chance that he can return even after this.
Okay.
But
I just wish he wouldn't.
Yeah, so he could use a little more development.
So did the NCAA approve it or no? Like, because I'm looking at these conflicted reports. Like,
this is from ESPN 6 hours ago. Trinidad Chambliss acknowledged being a little frustrated as he awaits an NCAA decision on potential waiver for the 2026 season, while his lawyer, Tom Mars, told ESPN that they're working on immediate contingency plans in the event that it's denied. So he signed a contract saying that if he does get eligibility, he is going to return to Ole Miss.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what this is saying. Was that what you just read?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Then I thought it was already pretty much a done deal that he was coming back, but that's pretty interesting that he's still awaiting final. Well, I mean, so with that being said, then what's your gut take on that? You think it's probably feels like a formality to me, like they're going to approve it, he's going to go back.
Yeah.
Especially if they lose to Miami. Like, I just think it's a formality. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna say I think he beats Miami. First off, I think I'm gonna go there. Maybe I'm just riding the hype train of success, but I still think there's too much explosion in there, and like that whole Ole Miss offense, and even without like their head coach, I think just what we've seen recently, like they're real. They're real. Like they shouldn't have been able to do that as easily as they did against Georgia. Like it didn't look hard. It looked like it was the simplest thing of their life, and they didn't have their head coach, and it's just crazy. And I think they could do a similar thing to Miami. And Miami's got a different pass rush you got to deal with. But I'm still not trusting Carson Beck in the lights. Like, I'm sorry. I haven't seen enough yet for me to be there. And I do believe in Trinidad Chambliss. And, like, the thing is, I wish that he would have opted into this class. I really do think he's QB3. And I think there's a lot of teams that need a QB. I mean,
are we 100% sure that Dante Moore is going to
we don't.
Apparently, like the story is with Ty Simpson. Like he was looking around in college to see like where he could have interest in,
and
like amongst other programs. Amongst them, one of them was Oregon. So that might be keying us in that Dante Moore could be declaring.
Okay.
Well, and a big thing to say with the Ty Simpson stuff, too, is Ty Simpson wouldn't have been able to come back to Alabama. He would have had to deal with them who just took a high recruit and risk him jumping into a transfer portal at any point because you're starting Ty Simpson an unnecessary year. And you had to be there. And, like, that's the whole thing is, like, I don't think he could have just jumped back to Alabama like a lot of people think. I think he actually had to opt into this draft unless he found, like, the perfect transfer opportunity. And so, like, that's the biggest thing to me. Dante Moore is really interesting, though. I think that he should probably opt in. But that being said, like, nothing would surprise me. We're at a point where NIL deals are crazy amounts of money, and we know he's got a Nike contract. It's not very hard to make out.
No,
true. It's like, honestly, there is a good chance that if Dante Moore doesn't go top 5, he'd be losing out on money compared to staying for another year. But at the same time, if he goes top 5, that's securing the money for 4 years, maybe even a 5th-year option as well. Versus with NIL, if he stays there for a year, maybe, I don't know if he has extended eligibility after next year as well, but like, you're maybe getting 1 or 2 years of pay rather than 4.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, next year's draft class is going to be way deeper, potentially with so many different guys
quarterbacks
to come out. You're not going to probably get a top 5 pick at that point unless you really, really impress again this year.
Exactly. To me, Chambliss, his stock could only go down from here. I mean, what's the odds of Ole Miss being a game away from the national championship next season? What's the odds of you having the same type of season you had this season, knowing that obviously there's a whole year of film on you, people are going to adjust to your style of play. Not only that, you're gonna lose teammates to the transfer portal and to the draft. And right now, you're the hottest ticket in college football outside of Fernando Mendoza. Trinidad Chambliss is all everybody's talking about. He went viral in that game against Georgia. I mean, you beat Georgia in the college football playoff. You take that and you ride that magic carpet ride right into the draft. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, like, you don't go back to school hoping that you can capture magic in a bottle again. And then if you don't, then now, and like Jay just said, next year's QB class will be deeper, will be bigger, probably will be better. And all of a sudden you go from QB2 to QB6.
You know what I think people forget about too? And this is something I want to bring up with exactly what you just said. Does everybody remember how CJ Stroud rose up draft boards? It was beating Georgia in a really important game and looking smooth while doing it.
Yeah.
Like, that changed everything.
All it took was that one game. Jordan dropped out.
Yeah. Oh, did I go out?
Yeah, you dropped out for a second. Now you're back. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Welcome back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You sound
we
good.
can hear you. We can see you. We just can't feel you.
It says I'm backstage right now, still on the app. So, but the thing is, so like CJ Stroud, like that's how CJ Stroud came to be. Like he beat Georgia in like a talented game. Like he had a really important game in that game against Georgia, and it really changed like his trajectory forever. And like to me, and like both of these guys know, I've been harping to the moon about Trinidad Chambliss before people knew it. Mm-hmm. Like I love Trinidad Chambliss. I love everything about his game. But the thing is, at the same time, like when you have lightning in a bottle like this, you strike it. You don't sit there and let the bottle keep holding the lightning. Like you have to strike. And like that's what drives me nuts about it, because I would love to see him there.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, like I said, man, I just can't see a situation in which, you know, he has a better run than he's having. You know, like I don't see. Take this like this time last year, no one even knew who Trinidad Chambliss was, and nobody knows who Trinidad Chambliss is. And to me, you have to take that ride it right on into the NFL. But there's some development to be had. I mean, the main reason why I think he should leave is that he doesn't even have his coach anymore.
Yeah,
right. Like he's not even going to have his coach anymore. So you lose your coach. You're going to lose teammates. You're going to have another year in which teams now are going to be able to understand this is what this guy does. This is how we need to attack him. And then we're going to be sitting there saying, well, let's go back and do it again. You know, I'm going to be honest. I think the NIL has kind of ruined the kids a little bit, because now the hunger of getting to the next level, the hunger of developing your talent so that you can play at the highest level is not necessarily there like it used to be, because now these kids can get rich and stay in college. And if they make it to the league, they make it to the league. And if they don't, they don't, you know?
Well,
a lot of them just kind of want to get drafted anyway. They get drafted, and if they're in the league for 2 years, cool, they make a couple million and they're off to doing something else.
What I think
there's no NIL, this kid's he's coming out.
I think what's so underrated with it too is like you look at somebody like Sorsby right now. Sorsby just signed an NIL deal today with Texas A&M, like $5 million, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like that's more than Shedeur Sanders' entire rookie contract. Like he's making more in 1 year than he would have made on a rookie contract to be a mid-round quarterback.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's something to think about, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also on top of that, a lot of these quarterbacks, they could have declared for the 2027 draft. They're staying an extra year. So that means NFL teams are going to get even more tape on them. They're going to be older prospects. But ultimately, a lot of them are going to be more experienced and potentially do have that development to improve themselves. It's helped out with quite a few guys like, you know, Jaden Daniels, when he returned, had a big boost. With a few other guys as well. But at the same time, though, it certainly is a risk to return if you have this high draft capital like we've been talking with Chambliss in a weaker class.
Hi, Drew Alar. How are you doing?
All that takes is regression. And then, yeah, you can really, really lose out on a big opportunity to go pro and continue making that money, even if it is possibly less than what you'd be making. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see Chambliss. Simpson, he was the new declaration, though. That's the big story amongst Colts Twitter and basically amongst every other team that needs a quarterback that doesn't have one of like the top 10 picks.
Good for him. How you should. Do we
think does anybody here think he's a first round draft pick?
Initially on my big board, I had him as a round 2 grade after seeing his midseason regression. Mm-hmm. However, I did learn, like, since that big board came out, which was like about a month ago, that I'd heard the rumors of injury, but nothing was like substantiated. Now we know he suffered a lower back injury and he was playing through that. He got some medicine for that, but was also suffering something from the anti-inflammatory drug, so it caused weight loss and lack of like muscle. And then on top of that, he then suffered an elbow injury against Georgia. Played through that. He had like elbow inflammation there, and then naturally, of course, his collegiate career was finished off by a tackle from D'Angelo Pons, who fractured his rib.
Yeah,
He
that's a
played
lot.
through quite a few injuries during that regression. So it sounds like teams, reportedly, according to what Ty Simpson's dad has told ESPN, is that every general manager that they talked to gave Ty Simpson a round 1 grade, not a single round 2 grade. So me personally, I'm going to put him right now at that like 1 to 2 grade tier, and we'll see what happens with like his medical evaluation in Indianapolis. That's going to be a very major factor for his draft capital. But then, even if we're trying to excuse his regression just solely on injury, you then only have like 7-8 games of like game that you can actually evaluate him on before the injury.
See, like
that is a very small sample size. It's like even smaller than like he's had a total of 15 games, which is more than Anthony Richardson. But if we're throwing around 7, then that's even less than Richardson's 13 college starts.
See, like that's my thing with it is like I feel like that's the whole thing people keep trying to use on Ty Simpson, and it's been the opposite of how I've seen Dante Moore. Because I've actually think like take last week's game out as an example. But prior to that, like the last few weeks, Dante Moore has been making some really, really special throws and some really nice timing throws. And it's like, okay, like I'm starting to see Dante Moore. Early on, I didn't understand Dante Moore as much as like all the evaluators are trying to put him up to be there. But those last few weeks, like you would see him make timing throws and they wouldn't be as consistent all the time. But it'd be like, wow, okay, like that's there. Yeah. And then Ty Simpson was kind of opposite, where early on you saw a little bit, but then it started to fade away. How much can you dictate that towards injury? I'm not sure. That's the hardest decision in like all of this to itself. But at the same time, I'm just like not there with it. I can't like fully be confident in taking Ty Simpson in the first round. But that being said, it all comes to supply versus demand, because there's quite a few teams that could look at quarterback right now. And even the ones that are looking for successors, they might reach early because there's multiple who need them.
Yeah, for example, if you're talking about successors, the Rams have literally 2 picks right now in round 1. Yeah. They'd have 2 opportunities to get Ty Simpson if they want to as the successor for right now the favorite and very likely will be the MVP, Matthew Stafford, which would be insane of a landing spot for sure.
And that'd be great for him because he could develop. I don't think Ty Simpson's ready to play right away in the NFL. I think even if he gets there, he needs to sit probably for a year. Maybe 2. So going to a place where they have an established starting quarterback as well as a good head coach, I think that'd be ideal, right? I think that'd be ideal for a guy like Ty Simpson. I don't have a first round grade on him, but obviously there's context. Like you just added some context with the injuries. But I will say this: his pre-draft process is going to be critical for him. I think he should do everything. Like, I don't think his last game was good enough for him to say, I'm just going to rest on that and then let my tape speak for itself. And then I'm just going to see you in April in the draft. No, you can't do that. I don't think he played well enough to do that. He's going to have to go, obviously, take the physicals, prove that he's healthy. He's going to have to go out and throw. They're going to want to see him throw, see if he can make all the throws. And they're going to want to just put this kid through the ringer just to make sure that, like, if we are going to draft him in the first round, we got to make sure that he is he's ready for that, that he's the right guy for that. I got a day 2 grade on him right now, but that can change, obviously, based on how he performs during the pre-draft process.
See, I know, like, me.
I can't grade anyone for round 2 or round 1. Well, it's tough to really evaluate. It's one of the most complicated cases.
Yeah, he's a round 2 guy, like, in my opinion. But like, I can't dictate how much of that was because of injuries. Because early on, there were moments where it's like, okay, I see it. But it's like, how much of that do I also hold against for injuries? Because like, you've been injured that many times at college in such a short amount of time, and like you keep coming out and playing. Like, I don't know how to make it.
Reminds me of another Alabama quarterback in Tua,
unfortunately.
Right? Number 2, all the injuries he sustained while in college. There was a lot of conversation and questions about him coming out. But you know, Miami was just so smitten with him. They felt like they were taking him no matter what. You know, he had a really bad hip injury in college, and you thought like, I don't even know if this guy's even going to be able to play in the NFL. But all it takes is one team to fall in love with you. That's all. You know, all of us know that. You know, you just need one team. You don't need 32 teams to love you. You just need one team to love you. So I think that's what Ty Simpson's goal should be, is to find the one team that loves him. And then for him, he may not feel this way, but I feel this way. He needs to go to a team where they have an established culture, a starting quarterback, and a coach that knows how to develop. Because I don't think he's ready to play week 1 of the 2026 season. I think that'd be a mistake on the part of the franchise that drafts him.
There certainly is some issues in terms of pro readiness. I mean, he really struggled even before against passing against pressure at times, like especially pressure up the middle. When it's from the side, we saw he was able to step up and really like get into his throws. But he had issues maneuvering around pocket when the pressure was coming up the middle and he had to like move laterally, or if he like was trying to like move back, he often like kind of like didn't set himself properly and was like throwing off his back foot. So there were some of those injury issues. He was kind of late on a lot of his outbreaking throws. Like he was great in timing for in-breakers, but outbreakers, especially later on, he just was so late. And thankfully, sometimes he was like able to fit it into like a really nice window. But in the NFL, those windows get even tighter. That is going to be a potential pick six. So
yeah, absolutely.
He's got to be very careful with that. He had some eye manipulation, like at times where he was like looking off receivers, and that was able to make his defenders like drift in like the second and third level and open up a passing window. But then other times I saw him kind of like stare down his wide receiver, and that really keyed in for the DBs, and they were able to like try and make some plays on the ball. So there's some inconsistency on that. And then
is there a game this year that you watched him that you were like, okay, that game was concerning for me? Like just for listeners out there who may want to go back and watch some Ty Simpson film, and it's like, what game should we watch that you thought was most concerning?
Most concerning game was probably like Eastern Illinois.
Matt pulled it up. That's mine.
That was not a great level talent team that he really struggled against. Like there were some really ugly throws there, and that was after the supposed injury. I mean, he was able to get like a high completion percentage, but like there were several like balls that were really bad and got him picked off. I was a little concerned on that front of seeing him only getting like that much like yardage there. Like he was trying to be aggressive with the ball a bit downfield, but man, there were some really ugly reps in there. Like on the flip side, early on, he was insanely dominant against like Wisconsin and like the first game against Georgia and Vanderbilt. Like I was really impressed with the tape there. But yeah, like you go to like the Eastern Illinois, the Georgia tape, the Indiana tape, of course, but those were like Georgia's was where he suffered the elbow injury and he was, I think, still dealing with it in Indiana. Yeah. But then Oklahoma was up and down as well. There were some good moments, but some inconsistency there. Like it's Oklahoma's like second half of the season, there were very few games where you're like, oh, I still see the round one quarterback there. Like maybe Oklahoma.
Oklahoma was the first one I watched where I was like, I don't know. That was the first one where there were just like some inconsistencies. I was like, this is really rough. And like I said, I was really harsh on Dante Moore early on. And I couldn't have allowed Ty Simpson to get by in things he was doing against Oklahoma that like Dante Moore would do against like really bad competition, but he'd still win the game like 50 points.
Yeah.
But it's like I still think that like outside of last week's game where he's playing against like a really good pass rush that's like incredibly well equipped to stop him, like he's improved on a lot of the things that I wish Ty Simpson was improving on throughout the season. But it's obviously the injury. I don't know how much of that's it. But it's like, as Jay was saying, a lot of it's mental processing too. Like, you'll see him stare down a wide receiver. That's nothing to do with your injury. That's just you, like, looking down the field, like, not being aware of the situation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Alabama quarterbacks have had a lot of problems with.
Yeah, there's certainly stuff that you can't excuse from injury that's just simply inexperience, and that you hope he can grow out of it. Because, again, only 15 games total, injury or not, that he's gotten to start. Like, that is – there's only been, like, a handful of guys who go around one with that level of inexperience in, like, the NFL, and it's not a high hit rate on that as well. I mean, like, there certainly is some good stuff mentally where, like, he does work through his progressions really quickly. Like, he can do his, like, pre-snap audibles and protection checks despite being inexperienced, which I'm impressed about. He had some success against, like, a lot of different types of coverage, especially early on. Like, there certainly is aspects where you're like, okay, he can be a pro-level quarterback and, like, be pro-ready. At the same time, though, there are just those little tiny things where you're like, okay, I can see them being some weaknesses, like, early on that he will get exploited on. And he's not the most athletic prospect that you can just, like, fall back on that, rely on scrambling and rely on being able to make plays with your legs or, like, throw it deep. Because on top of all that, I don't know if we can fully excuse it or not, but, like, his deep ball accuracy, phenomenal from, like, 20 to, like, 30 yards. But then when you start getting past that to, like, 31 and beyond, there was a lot of bad throws where he was either overthrowing, underthrowing. There was a lack of touch there. Like, he has phenomenal touch from 30 yards and under. But then as soon as you get to, like, the really deep shots, it just, like, was not being completed at a consistent rate at all. And, like, some of them you could maybe say, okay, maybe there was, like, a receiver miscommunication here or there. But a lot of it just seemed like he just flat out did not have the touch and the placement for 30-yard bombs and beyond. So can that be worked around or developed? Who knows? But there are some weaknesses.
One thing with him that's really interesting to me, and I don't see it all the time, so it's not like a common thing, but I see it at least once to twice a game with him, where it's like, and this is what makes me wonder if he's actually better at throwing that ball, if he's coached better in the league. It's like, you'll see him do a quick stutter step while he's throwing. And, like, it's just like an extra step he doesn't need to take. And he takes it for no reason sometimes. Like, his front foot or his back foot will take one extra little stutter at the end, and it will just completely flow off his momentum. And, like, he does it a lot on, like, really shorter passes, but I'm, like, curious. I want to look at, like, more of his long balls. I wish there was just, like, one full stream where I could watch them all, because I guarantee you that's part of it. I've seen him do it, like, once a game. His footwork just gets a little sloppy, and it's not every throw. Like, he'll have really good throws with really good footwork.
Yeah.
But at least once. There's a stutter right there, but it's not as much on that.
It's still a good ball, but not, like, the perfect ball right there, where I think that stutter made it sail a little bit and, like, the receiver had to jump for it.
Yeah.
So do you guys have what's your comp, Jay and Jordan? What you guys have a comp for Ty Simpson?
Personally, I've never been really big into, like, the pro comps, like, just because I feel like every player is unique in their own way. The ones I've heard thrown around from, like, other people in the league and, like, in scouting circles has been, some people say Mark Bulger. Some people say, like, a slightly more athletic Mac Jones. I know Bleacher Report threw out Tony Romo. So, I mean, like, there's a range there. I think there is upside. But at the same time, like, he is not going to be, like, the most athletically gifted player in the NFL. His arm is good, but, like, it's not, like, great. He has good straight line speed, but he's not going to be, like, a shifty mover, especially when he's moving laterally. So, like, you can scramble with him, but he's not going to be a dual threat. So there is limits to, like, his game, but at the same time, I do see those flashes, especially early on, of some very, very strong processing, field reading, decision making. So, and great accuracy early on, especially like we were saying, 30 yards and below. But yeah, I lean more on that Mac Jones kind of level of spectrum.
I got a name for you. I'm gonna take it back. Watching him, he reminds me of Todd Detmer. You guys remember Todd Detmer? You know, Todd Detmer wasn't the biggest quarterback. Yeah, he wasn't the biggest quarterback. But he was, he was mobile. Not hyper mobile, right? But he was, he could move around in the pocket. Wasn't the biggest guy. Didn't have the strongest arm. But in the right system, he was with Andy Reid. He was productive, and you could win games with a Todd Detmer. But again, he wasn't just outstanding physical prospect, but he gives me a lot of Todd Detmer. And I'm gonna show you something real quick. Let's just throw it back real quick. So people are probably like the younger audience is probably like, who the heck is Todd Detmer? And so I'm going to show you. Let's go through a little bit of Todd Detmer and see what I mean with the pro comp of Todd Simpson, Todd Detmer.
The funny thing is, like, I don't know Tom Detmer as much, but I'm sitting here because when you brought up Tony Romo, I remembered a comp, and it's the only one that's stuck in my head with him, is that he's Tony Romo without bravery. Like, that's how they put it. He's Tony Romo, but he's not brave.
Interesting.
Because, like, I feel like Tony Romo, like, ran it more often, like, at more times where he thought it was important to run it. At the same time, like, he would throw a little bit more riskier at times when it was, like, time to do it. But I don't think he's not a non-risk taker. I just don't think he's a risk taker of Tony Romo.
Yeah, Tony Romo, in his prime, he was a gunslinger through and through. And I think that Ty Simpson can, like, be a bit of a gunslinger at times where he can throw into these tight window throws. But difference being is that I think he doesn't take that many risks comparatively to Tony Romo. And I think Romo took a few more than he should have. The scrambling wise, I did also focus in on, like, the split between before injury and after. Before injury, he was scrambling 26.3% of the time when he was pressured, which is a pretty good rate. After, like, these supposed injuries started, it went down to like 14%. So all of a sudden it just careened down. He was not trying to move at all. I think there's certainly, like, a level of, like, risk assessment, especially with this injury. Like the one that he was really dealing with for the most part was the lower back one. I think it's like, I'm not going to risk my back right now for this. I'm just going to try and buy some more time and focus on, like, throwing rather than scrambling.
Yeah. I get it. No, and I think Ty Simpson's such an interesting prospect because it's just like, I don't know if we've seen the best of Ty Simpson at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure we haven't. But like, and the fact is, like, how much am I willing to risk that I haven't seen much of the best of Ty Simpson? And that's what makes it really tough for me. And like I said earlier, I know I'm gonna harp this into the heavens, but I'm a Trinidad Chambliss guy. But Dante Moore would be my number 2. If they were all 4 out and 2 were potentially opting back in, if all 4 were out, it'd obviously be, for me, Mendoza, Moore, Trinidad, and then it would be Ty Simpson. And you could honestly, like, even convince me in some things with Ty Simpson. I just think Ty Simpson has too much of, like, I'm not sure, where it's interesting enough, where it's like, I'm not going to take, like, any of the guys behind him ahead of him because I still think there's something there that the other guys didn't show in an 8-game stretch, you know? But the other side of it is, man, I'm just not there, like, consistently with Ty Simpson enough. But he'll be intriguing enough at the next level because like I said, I think more of it isn't about, like, how good is Ty Simpson. I think it's how many quarterbacks are needed in the league right now.
Yeah, right.
And it feels like there's going to be movement. And when there's an off season with movement, it typically means there's a chance somebody goes higher than they should.
Man, and you guys know I'm a big Hold on 1 second.
Right, Sean?
Yeah.
So
there's some guys I like in this draft, though. I don't think it's a great class. I really think if Dante Moore doesn't declare, then I think it's just one quarterback in the first round. Even though I do, I've been pounding the table that I think late back half of the first round. If I'm the Rams, man, you got to be looking at a quarterback, right? Like you got to find at some point you got to replace.
Matt
Stafford. You got to replace him, bro. Like, I mean, he can't play forever, right? And then so for me, I'm a big John Mateer guy. I think John Mateer will be a better pro than he was in college. I think if you put him in the right system, like a Sean McVay system, I think he's going to be a baller. Like, I think he would be like, I feel like he's like a smaller version of like Justin Herbert, right? Like just that gunslinger, that guy who can play fast. He can play with tempo. He's got a quick release. He's got plus athleticism. And in that system where it is quarterback friendly, and we've seen so many different styles of quarterbacks succeed in that system, I think John Mateer he'd be outstanding in that system. So, couple things we got to talk about, man. We got to get into this. So we're going to talk about some pass rushers. So there's a lot of fans out there. We're going to do this mock draft, but there's a lot of fans out there that want to know, okay, if my team can't get Reuben Bain or can't get who's your favorite pass rushers in this craft, right? We got to talk about that. But real quick, before we do that, we got to talk about the big elephant in the room that dropped yesterday, and that was John Harbaugh being fired from the Baltimore Ravens. I said it long before it happened that if that job opened up, it's the best job in the NFL, right? Like, it's the best job in the NFL. And I mean, you had Atlanta and New York, and a lot of people like Atlanta's job because, they got a good defense, but they still don't have a quarterback that you for sure know is the guy, right? I feel like even no matter who takes that job, number one job is going to be finding out if Michael Penix Jr. is the guy, or if you need to find a guy. But you do have Bijan, and you do have weapons all over the place, and you got good players on defense. So that is a really good job. But I think obviously Baltimore becomes the number one job in football immediately. You have a culture, you have good ownership, you have good front office and scouting department. They're going to draft you and bring you good players for you to develop if you're a developing type of coach. You do have the potential for long-term job security. The Ravens don't hire and fire coaches. They've had 3 coaches since 1996. Ted Marchibroda was hired solely to ingratiate the Ravens into the Baltimore culture, because Ted Marchibroda was a former Baltimore coach, right? Mm-hmm. Coached the Baltimore Colts. And when they left, he kind of stayed around in Baltimore, and they were trying to bridge the gap between the old Baltimore Colts fans and the Baltimore Ravens. And they needed a coach that could bring, those two sides together. So that's why they hired Ted Marchibroda is the inaugural head coach, right? He was older. He was old. He only did it. He did the Ravens, Art Modell a favor by coming out and coaching. I think he was pretty much semi-retired at the time. Mm-hmm. But outside of him, both of the Ravens head coaches spent a decade in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Brian Billick, 98 to 2008, right? 2007. And then John Harbaugh, he was there for 18 years. So he's there for, nearly 2 decades. So if you're a head coach and you're like, hey, man, I want to get this job. I want to move my family to that city. I want to put my kids in school and let them be there and grow up there for their entire childhood. I want to put down roots. That's the job you want, because you have the potential to be there for 10, 15 years if you take that job and you do a good job. So,
though the problem is with all of that they have around them, with a very good drafting and developing staff with a Lamar Jackson at quarterback, with some good weapons here or there. All that to say, the expectations are the highest when you take that job.
Oh, for sure.
You just saw John Harbaugh get fired for 8-9 and miss the playoffs for the first time in a long time for him, outside of like major injury seasons.
So let me ask you, Jay. So I kind of know what Jordan's stance is on this. As a outside of the Ravens flock individual, what was your reaction when the John Harbaugh news came down yesterday?
Well, I've been a little more in tune with the flock based off of my friendship with both of you guys, so I knew that I was less shocked compared to the rest of my Colts fan compatriots, just because I've seen the conversation around Ravens fans where the question was, what does Harbaugh bring that helps us win these games against the best of the best? And like a lot of complaints of him being outcoached, some rough game management decisions at times, and some consistency of they were not fully disciplined when the lights were the brightest. And that's what caused them to lose quite a few playoff games that they honestly should have won. So because of that, I can see the buildup before this, where it wasn't like, oh, this guy has been winning so much consistently that all of a sudden when he has his first losing season, he's canned. What's going on?
Yeah,
I saw a little bit more of that buildup from my friendship with you guys.
right.
But
So you had that exclusive look behind the curtain. People on the outside think this came from nowhere. This didn't come out of nowhere. This didn't come out of nowhere.
But at the same time, he was a coach that was able to help get you to the points of those contention. So everyone else is going to be looking at John Harbaugh as the top coach on the market right now. And he's actively getting recruited. And like per some reports, he is the top choice for the Giants job if he chooses to go there. So there is some interesting opportunities for him. But at the same time, the Ravens, they are right now going to decide and try and figure out if the grass is greener on the other side with other options. Can they find the true elite difference maker of a coach who's going to get the team disciplined on the biggest stages, is going to keep good time management and clock management decisions, is going to keep innovating as a coordinator, as a play caller, as a play designer. They're all going to be looking for all these factors that John Harbaugh was having some difficulties with. So time will tell if the grass is greener, but there is an opportunity for an upgrade.
Absolutely. Jordan, what's your take on it?
My biggest thing with it is John Harbaugh, first off, I want to say this. I don't think he's nearly as horrible as some of us have made him out to be, despite our frustrations that have been prolonged over time. Let's be real about it. It was just time. And that's kind of where it was. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against him. It's nothing against everything that happened. But it's like after 18 years when nothing's changing, at some point you're 18 years old, we have to let you off on your own. You can't live at the house anymore. And that's kind of the thing. We had to keep him in. And like at this point, we're like, well, we need to figure something out that's new. I think a lot of people forget that like the last 2 years have ended in heartbreak before this. So it's like, imagine that like you fumble on the 1 yard line, you miss the 2-point conversion. And then on top of that, you start this season and you lose a huge lead to Buffalo. They come back and beat you, completely distraught the team. And then you finish the season where you miss a kick that would have sent you to the playoffs. So like you've had 4 heartbreaking losses in such a short amount of time, and eventually like emotion's going to take over. You can't like sit there as a spot and like have 4 emotional losses as bad as that so close to each other and not expect drastic change.
Yeah.
And I think that's like my biggest thing with it. That being said, like I still think there's places John Harbaugh is going to go out and coach and he'll be fine. Like he'll be fine in those situations. Like I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, man, like we're crashing out over 8 wins, and surely like we should be, because like we should be at a better spot than where we're at right now. But at the same time, if you look at somewhere like the Jets, they've had 8 wins in 10 seasons. They would welcome that in a heartbeat. Even though it's not what we need now, it doesn't mean it's not what somebody needs now. and like I wish him well, but ultimately, like I've been tired of the same old rap. I've been tired of the same old story, and it's like at some point when you deal, and Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, like for better or worse, is one of the most emotional players in the league. You see it on the sideline, you see it everywhere. If you're in 4 emotional losses back to back to back to back, like it's eventually going to wear on you, and unless you do something at some point in time, you're just defining what your history is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, for me, man, I have been calling for this for a while. If you've been in my spaces, you've heard me say, I mean, if John Harbaugh was back, man, I wasn't going to be supporting the team in the way that I used to, just because, again, the monotony of just there was like, it felt like the last 13 years, there was no real true urgency to change things that needed to be changed in order to reach the ultimate goal. Here's the thing about that people don't know from the outside looking in, because I'm hearing a lot of takes from outside media, people doing podcasts, people who don't follow the Ravens intimately, and the takes are, well, the Ravens made a mistake. The takes are, well, John Harbaugh is going to find another job just like that. He's going to have a lot of suitors. Okay. The takes are, who are they going to find better than John Harbaugh? Well, let me just give you guys some insight in history on the Ravens and John Harbaugh. Well, first of all, Ravens have had 3 head coaches in their history. Like I said, Mark Trubota was more just the inaugural coach to get the team established in the new city, right? Brian Billick and John Harbaugh both won a Super Bowl. So it shows you right there the culture. It's not about a coach. The culture was established by the general manager, Ozzie Newsome. He established that culture with the type of players he drafted and with the type of mentality he put in the locker room. He cultivated that locker room and made sure that locker room had the type of individuals that not only had the talent on the field, but they could police themselves. They could hold each other accountable. And there were leaders and guys who believed in accountability for their own play and also accountability for their teammates, right? That culture existed. That culture existed before Billick got there in 98. People think like, the Ravens suck. Listen, the Ravens had been steadily improving from 96 to 98 when they hired Billick. They had increased their win percentage every year. Mind you, they got there in 96. It was a whirlwind. I mean, these guys were sleeping in hotels. They had no idea. They didn't know where they were going to live. They were just trying to get their kids in school. And it's a new, if you've ever been a part of a team that moved from one city to another city, that period, that process of moving and relocating the entire organization, that is not easy. And it takes some teams, it takes them a long time before they even become contenders after something like that. The Ravens won the Super Bowl in 2000 after moving in 96. 98, I think they finished 8-8, right? Or 98, 98, they finished, I think they had a losing record in 98, but they were, if you looked at that season towards the end, they started winning. They started competing. You can see they had a really good defense that they were developing because Ozzie had drafted Ray. He had drafted Boware. He had signed McCray as a free agent. He had brought in Saragusa. All of these things were coming, right? Then you get that offseason, you get Billick in 98. He comes in, and he's supposed to be this offensive guru because he coached the greatest Minnesota Vikings offense that we've ever seen with Randy Moss as a rookie headline in the offense. And he came in, and it's like this locker room was dominated by defense. 1999, they go 8-8. They finish like 500, right? 2000, they win a Super Bowl. But because the culture was already established by the GM and by the front office when it came to, okay, this is what we want to build. Play like a Raven, all of that stuff. Ray Lewis was a pillar in establishing the culture in the locker room and being that extension from Ozzie, right? So he wins the Super Bowl. Okay, wins the Super Bowl 2000. 2006, I'll tell the story at the time. Brian Billick wins 13 games, which at the time was the most wins in Ravens history. He got a contract extension that offseason. 97, they fall off. Steve McNair gets injured, right? Remember, Brian Billick's only good quarterback was Steve McNair. When he got Steve McNair, he won 13 games. McNair gets hurt in 2007. The Ravens finished 5-11. Brian Billick's out. Everybody, at the same time, I remember the conversation around Billick was like, are the Ravens crazy? Why would you fire Brian Billick? He just won 13 games the season before. He lost Steve McNair, who, was his starting quarterback. Bowler was not a good quarterback. And that's putting it mildly, right? And you hire John. John comes in 2008, and what happened? He goes to the AFC Championship game immediately. No head coaching experience. He wasn't even their top candidate. They interviewed Jim Caldwell from the Colts, right? Jim Caldwell from the Colts, right? He turned the job down. Most people don't even know that. He was the first candidate they offered. They put in a request to interview for him, with him. He was set to interview, and then he called Ozzie and said he wasn't interested. He was going to stay in Indianapolis, right? So Caldwell pulled out. Then they bring in Jason Garrett. They literally offered Jason Garrett the job. His wife says, she'd been watching The Wire, and Baltimore seemed too scary of a place. She didn't want to raise her children there. And so Jason Garrett says, no, thank you. We're going to turn the job down. We're going to go to Dallas, right? Then I think it was one more coach. Well, obviously Rex. They interviewed Rex twice. Rex wanted the job. He wanted the job more than anybody. He wanted that job. They interviewed him once. They interviewed him twice. But Steve Bisciotti received counsel from someone who told him, if you let Rex have the job, the locker room is going to be divided because he's a defensive coach and those are his boys, and he's going to give the defense preferential treatment. I mean, at the time, I couldn't blame him. The offense was trash. The defense was carrying the team. They were scoring more touchdowns than the offense, right? So then
you got to build up the offense too.
Yeah. So then here comes Andy Reid. Ring, ring. Ozzie Newsome. Hey man, I hear you having trouble finding the head coach. We got a guy here who's was my secondary coach, my special teams coach. Yeah, I think you should give him a chance. I think you should give him an interview. Check him out. Ozzie schedules John Harbaugh. They interview him. He gets the job. At that time, people was like, "Who the hell is John Harbaugh?"
Now, Colts fans knew him, but only because of his brother.
I knew him because of his brother. But the thing is, unless you, the only reason why you even had an inkling of who he was is because you're like, hold on, Harbaugh. That name sounds familiar. Jim Harbaugh, the former Colts quarterback, captain quarterback.
Oh, you're talking about Jay Harbaugh, of course.
Yeah,
Jay Harbaugh. We know Jay Harbaugh.
We know Jay Harbaugh. Oh, you talking about Jim, the captain comeback, the Colts quarterback. Because I remember that was his nickname. John. He was like, no, he's got a brother named John. He's like, he's got a brher? Like, no one even knew he had a brother. Then we saw him. We was like, oh, snap, he looks just like him.
They're looking at Jay Harbaugh. They're like, oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Mistaken identity. I think we hired him mistaken identity. Jim, But here's the funny thing. Jim played for the Ravens, right? So I think that was that connection too. And obviously he grew up around football. John's a good coach, right? He grew up under football. He grew up, he'd been around football his whole life. His daddy was a coach. His brother was a first-round draft pick. Mm-hmm. He grew up around, legendary coaches like Bo Schembechler and, that whole Ohio area. And it's great area for football. Mm-hmm. But let's be real. John Harbaugh walked into a locker room full of Hall of Famers who had just won 13 games 2 seasons before he got there.
Yeah.
John was charged with 2 things. 1, bring unity in the locker room. Bring the offense and defense together. Stop this separation thing. Stop this thing of like the defense is carrying in the offense, just stay out of our way, right? Bring the offense, bring the locker room together from that standpoint. The second thing he was tasked with, find a quarterback. We've been here since 1996. Yes, we won a Super Bowl, but we've done it with a bunch of also-rans at quarterback, right? We all know the names. Scott Mitchell, Tony Banks, Stoney Case, Steve McNair, Trent Dilfer, Kyle Bowler, Anthony Wright, Jeff Blake. I mean, the list goes on and on. he was tasked with finding a quarterback, and just so happened. Now, Ozzie, we all know Ozzie makes the picks, and he does. They do all, they do all the scouting at the time. At the time, Phil Savage was there, and I feel like they was going to find a quarterback at some point anyway. John just happened to be there when they did, because remember that draft in which they found Joe, they had the 6th overall pick, and they wanted to draft Matt Ryan. You know what I'm saying? They wanted Matt Ryan. Mm-hmm. They wanted to trade up ahead of Atlanta because they knew Atlanta was going to draft Matt Ryan because Vic had just went to prison, and no one will trade with the Ravens to get up ahead of Atlanta. Atlanta said, "No, we staying put. We're going to take Matt Ryan." Oddly enough, the head coach of the Falcons at the time was Mike Smith, who was the Ravens' defensive coach the year previous under Billick. And he said, "Nah, I ain't letting you have Matt Ryan. You guys did my guy Billick dirty, so we're going to take Matt." Okay, Ozzie trades out of 6, goes all the way down to the 20s, then trades back up to 18, takes Joe Flacco. We all know the rest, right? The rest is history. They win the Super Bowl in a couple years later. But I felt like that team was already trending that way either way. Not taking anything away from John, but let's be real. There was a mutiny during that 2012 season. Yeah. There was talks of John being out. Ray Lewis had to literally announce his retirement to the team just to galvanize the locker room and get them to focus. Because he said, I got to do something to get these guys' attention. Terrell Suggs called him on the phone and said, "Man, you got to get back here. Things are falling apart." Ray said, "Okay, what can I do to capture I need everybody's focus." He said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to announce this is the General's last ride. And everybody respected Ray in that locker room so much that when he said that, they was like, holy smoke.
We got one for Ray.
Yeah, we got to win one for Ray. It's the same thing with Brady. When they knew Brady was nearing the end in New England, they was just like, we just got to get one more for him, right? Same thing with Peyton. I'm sure Peyton would have loved to finish in Indianapolis, which Jay, I'm sure you know, but the neck injury, it put Irsay at a situation where he had to choose his brain over his heart. And I'm sure watching Peyton win that Super Bowl in Denver probably broke Irsay's heart because that was his baby, Peyton. You know what I'm saying? Like he drafted him as a kid and watched him turn into, the most prolific quarterback in NFL history. You know what I'm saying? And it did not start beautiful, right? Because he led the league in interceptions. I think he still has the record.
Yep, he still has the record for most interceptions in a season, 28 as a rookie. But at the same time, he was also top 5 in touchdowns and I think number 1 in yards.
I think
there were flashes, but there was a lot of picks.
Yeah, Baker almost the touchdown, the interception record, I think.
You know what I think about the Billick Harbaugh comparison as well? That's really interesting if you think about it. Because if you think about Billick in his time, it was the start was what the start was. It was really good. And then eventually the guys that he helped create were the ones that ended up being the ending of where they're okay, we're done here. Mm-hmm. We need to move forward as a team and we need to be better. And then John Harbaugh takes the guys that they originally wanted Rex, right? That was who they wanted in that locker room. They didn't want Rex, but they mainly wanted Rex. Mm-hmm. It wasn't much against Brian Billick. And I think you could say a similar thing with John Harbaugh to an extent with Mike Macdonald, where it's a lot of the players probably wanted Mike Macdonald at that time. It's pretty obvious with some of their reactions as they watch their former head coach play. And they still throw glowing reviews. But the other side of it is when you watch him, it's John Harbaugh took what was inherited, had to take that group all the way to where they were at to bring them back to okay, we're all focused together. And then at the end, once he started developing his own group of guys, those ended up being the ones that turned on him in the end, the same way it happened to Billick. And it's kind of interesting how it just compares itself.
And I don't think it's anything personal. I think
I agree.
John. I think
in both situations too.
Yeah, I think it just got to a point where it was we can't do this anymore, right, bro? We go into these close games and we have this now, this PTSD of knowing that no matter what we do, this is going to end the same way, right? And the only way to get that monkey off your back, so to speak, you got to have somebody in there, a new voice that wasn't there for that, right? Somebody who was hey, man, I don't know what happened with the old guy and why you guys, got snake bitten all of a sudden and was cursed or whatever, but that ain't going to be what we got going on, right? We're going to do something different. And I just believe that that's what happened, right? And I just think, I've been critical of Lamar. Everybody knows it, man. because I do think Lamar is a great quarterback. I've said this too, right? As much as I've been critical, I say he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP, the greatest dual threat quarterback of all time. One of the most exciting players to watch, even when my time watching him at Louisville, present day. I mean, like watching him is a treat. But there is something missing when it comes to the postseason, when it comes to pressurized situations. Yeah, he has moments in here, recently where in the Buffalo game in the second half, he drove them down, he scored the touchdown. That shows growth, right? Even the other night against the Steelers, he gave them not one, but two game-winning drives that essentially probably should have won the game if it wasn't for the defense collapsing, right? So I give him credit for that. But when you have more playoff turnovers and touchdowns, I need to see it consistently before I say you've turned the corner. Because technically you still haven't turned the corner yet. You're showing signs of turning the corner, but you haven't quite turned the corner yet. And if he is going to turn the corner, that is why I've been on the stance that I've been on, which is the Ravens need to hire Clint Kubiak as the next head coach. One, for two reasons. And shout out to my boy Skrill. He brought this up last night, and it's a good point. One, Lamar needs the answers to the test. The great quarterbacks, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, at some point in their career, they all had a coach that gave them the answers to the test during the big moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There was like, hey, the defense is doing this. Let's do this, right? Lamar didn't have that. Lamar had, go save us. You know what I'm saying? Lamar had, go save us, go be special. You're the man. You go do it. Whatever you want to do, Lamar, I'm with you. It's your world, right? Mm-hmm. We don't need that. We need a guy that's going to keep Lamar calm in those situations and say, hey, look, hey, look at me. We're going to do this. And here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to create a structure around you in ways that you can just drive the car, right? I think of F1 racing. The engineers, they build the car. They build the car that's able to handle the conditions, that's able to handle the different tracks, that's able to handle whatever a race can throw at it. And all you got to do as a driver is just get in and drive, right? Lamar needs a race car in which he can just get in and drive. He doesn't have to pick the car up and carry it through to the finish line. He doesn't have to do anything special inside the car to make it do something. All he got to do is get in and drive. And that Shanahan system, that Kubiak system, is an F1 race car. It's working around the league. The Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold looks like a freaking all-pro. CJ Stroud's rookie season in that system looked fantastic. Brock Purdy damn near won an MVP in that system. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones, who people didn't even think could play quarterback anymore, when coming in for Brock Purdy, look what he did. Right,
now he's the top quarterback on the trade.
He's the top quarterback, exactly. Then Tua, people talk about, okay, when Tua's healthy in that system, I think 3 seasons ago, he threw for over 5,000 yards, had like all this crazy amount of stats, these numbers. He was balling out, right? His problem is he can't stop getting concussions. Mm-hmm. But every quarterback who's been in that system, Kirk Cousins, he's made a living in that system. All the millions of dollars he's made has been in the Shanahan system because he's been in that system since he was drafted. All of these quarterbacks who exist in that system, they've all succeeded. They've all had success. And now you're going to take a talent like Lamar Jackson and everything that he comes with, and you put him in that system, and you tell him, listen, I know you Superman. I know you're special. And that saves the special for when we need the special. I don't want you to be special from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. I want you to save your special for the last 2 minutes of the game. When we need you to throw the cape on, okay, then go do it. But for the majority of the game, I'm gonna put you in this race car and you're gonna drive this thing. And some games you're not even gonna have to put the cape on. We're just gonna drive it all the way to the finish line. And that's what I think he needs.
Really gonna be the key for the next stage of evolution for Lamar Jackson as a player, because eventually he's going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to use your legs like he used to. He's today just turned 29. He's got a lot of miles on his legs. He's had a few injuries here or there. I'm not saying he should abandon his legs at any point right now, but at some point, especially with mobile quarterbacks and dual threat ones who run these QB options a whole lot, the wear and tear will happen, and you got to resort to being more of a pocket quarterback. If you haven't developed enough to the point of the rushing threat is no longer there, I can be a pure pocket passer and still carve you up without even the threat of it, then you can truly transform. But that's not a transformation that has happened consistently with a lot of these mobile quarterbacks. Lamar is a lot more talented of a passer than a lot of them, though. I believe he could get there, but he needs the right coach to truly make that transformation. And to, like you say, he doesn't have to be Superman with his legs all the time. Just keep it sparingly and then maximize it for the true clutch situations that you need it.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit it right on the head. So that's what they need. And that's why I'm hearing the Flores. And I didn't hear Salah. I think it's lazy to just assume the Ravens want a defensive head coach. People don't understand this, but the Ravens have actually never had a defensive head coach. Yet they have a defensive culture. Ted Marchibroda was an offensive coach. Brian Billick was an offensive coach. John Harbaugh was a special teams coach. The Ravens have never, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, the Ravens have never had a defensive head coach. They've had opportunities to have one, and they've chosen otherwise. And now you're telling me your best players on offense, and now you want a defensive coach when your best players on offense? That doesn't make sense. Having a great defense, not having a defensive head coach never stopped the Ravens from not having a great defense. Having a defensive head coach never stopped the Ravens from having a good defense. Right? They've had great defenses under offensive head coaches. Plus, I think there's less turnover for your defensive coordinator than your offensive coordinator. Skrill brought this point up last night. If you get a defensive head coach and you hire a good OC, it'll be a year or two before he's poached, and then you got to get another one. You'll be going through the Dan Campbell thing right now. You're constantly, and you just lost Ben Johnson, and look what happened to them. They missed the playoffs, right? It's like it's hard to hold on to those young hotshot OCs because that's what everybody wants. They want the next Sean McVay. They want the next Ben Johnson. They want the next, Liam Cohen. They want the next Kyle Shanahan, right? So it's easier to hang on to your DC than it is your OC. So what you do is you make sure your OC is your HC, and then you hire a DC to run your defense. You create a scheme, and you say, okay, this is our scheme, and we're going to run this scheme no matter who our defensive coordinator is. And that's what they did for 20 plus years. Before the Zach Orr thing, it was like, we from Marvin Lewis to Mike Nolan to Rex Ryan to all of them, right? They all ran the same scheme. Just replace the teacher, but the scheme stays the same, and we just keep going.
What?
Hire an OC head coach, and you get the DC. Rex Ryan is on record saying he'd come back and coach up the defense if the Ravens asked him to, right? So that'll be great. You get a Clint Kubiak, and then you get somebody who knows the Ravens defensive culture and can establish it for you. Here's the thing. Rex did that for John. Rex stayed on as John's defensive coordinator John's first year as head coach. And what happened? John went to the darn going AFC Championship game his rookie season as a coach. You could do the same thing for Clint Kubiak. Go get him an experienced DC. Allow him to run the offense. He can hire an OC. Shoot, his brother can come with him from San Francisco, and he can run the offense. And then get a special teams coach. Get the staff together. You got Ozzie. You got Eric DeCosta. Listen, EDC has been trying to build that race car around Lamar Jackson since he's taken over as GM. He said he wanted a track team around Lamar Jackson. But I think there was some fundamental disagreements between John Harbaugh and the way he wanted to build the roster versus EDC. John Harbaugh wants the big 300-pound fullback. John Harbaugh wants the Bo Schembechler, wishbone offense and, with some sprinkles of throwing, right? But what EDC wants is what San Francisco has, what the Rams have. He want that, and I'm telling you, I know for a fact he wants that, and it's not surprising that I said all of this about Clint Kubiak, and then the report comes out today. The Ravens have requested to interview Clint Kubiak, and they got intimate knowledge on him because his dad coached for them, and he's the OC of their former defensive coordinator.
It's funny. You bring it up too. This is what people don't understand. There's a lot of and you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but the 350-pound fullback and different things like that. Clint Kubiak still has those types of pieces. He just uses them very differently.
Right.
And, that's the thing is Patrick Ricard with Clint Kubiak would still have a role. If you watch the Seahawks this whole year, they haven't had a run game without their fullback being in. They still care about a fullback in a Clint Kubiak system. It's just they would have different roles. The tight ends would be lining up differently. You would see different tight ends in different sets. They use tight ends all the time. AJ Barner's involved all the time in that offense. It's not just about everybody's gonna look at JSN and JSN numbers, but the supporting pieces all match what we have, and that's kind of the thing. And it's the way it fits the offense, but on top of that, the way it can take it to new heights. You let him get to bring in his own staff, have a mindset that he'll be ready. That's why you're hiring him in the first place. And I think he's worked around enough offensive minds. I'm sure his dad will help him with some of it too, figuring out what to do. And his dad knows Baltimore really well. He wouldn't me and Matt were talking before we were on live that his dad knew his dad wouldn't have ever left us if his best friend in the world didn't offer him a job to go be a head coach to win a Super Bowl. His dad wanted to stay here. His dad was fine with being the OC here. I think he'd absolutely help his son in terms of what he needs to figure out making a team. I think he would make good enough decisions. I'd be really intrigued to see how the staff's going to go, because the staff's really just as important as what he does. Whoever the coach is, it's just as important with the staff. Let's see how things are going to change. Let's see how the offense grows more dynamic. We need something to change. Even if it's rapidly, it's going to be something different. And with Clint Kubiak, you can keep some things the same while changing all of the dynamics of what hasn't been different over the last years. And that's what I love about it.
Had to give it. Jordan just cooked. Had to give him an explosion. Had to give him. Listen, man, this is what it's about. Hey, fellas, real quick, check the private chat. I just dropped a link in there, bro. We now have a mock draft simulator in which we can all draft from our own individual places. We can put our own picks in, and we don't have to sit there and be like, "Hey, man, pick my pick." Thank you for adding that for us.
So what's the room ID?
It's DraftNerds.
All right.
I got you. 1 second.
Give me 1 second.
And I'll put the password. I'll put the password in there in the chat. There you go. Password. I just dropped it. But yo, man, I mean, listen, y'all, if you guys are watching, leave a comment. What are your thoughts on the John Harbaugh situation? What are your thoughts on what we just said and what we just broke down about John Harbaugh, about the Ravens? Because I'm really kind of sick of hearing from the outsiders who don't have the intimate information and knowledge about the Ravens and John Harbaugh and just the culture, saying that the Ravens are making a mistake, saying that the Ravens did this or did that, and or that you shouldn't have done this, you should have done that. I think that's it's like watching something from afar and thinking you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of gets to me, man. It gets to me because it's like, yo, the loudest voices are the people who have the least amount of information. But I guess that's that's what we live in, right? We just live in hot takes and, oh yeah, I feel this way, or I think the Ravens made a mistake. The Ravens held on to John Harbaugh for 18 years, and people are still saying it's too soon. I mean, if not now, then when?
100.
Should we let him go to 25? I mean, Bill Belichick got let go. Andy Reid got let go. You know what I mean? Nothing's forever. No one coaches, to their 100. I mean, Pete Carroll just got let go last year. Now, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Bill Belichick, he had not one dynasty, but 2 dynasties in New England. He got let go. Pete Carroll won a Super Bowl. He went to 2 Super Bowls. Was a goal line handoff to Marshawn Lynch away from winning 2 Super Bowls. He got let go. Now, what about John Harbaugh's resume? Is more impressive than their resumes that says that he shouldn't be let go or he's above being let go when those guys, frankly, accomplished more than he did.
By the way, how about a guy in Denver right now? Same
Sean
story.
Payton, same thing. New Orleans let him go. They traded him, and he won a Super Bowl, multiple NFC division titles, Hall of Fame quarterback, all the great things, right? And they said it was okay, great, but enough is enough. No one coaches forever, man. No one coaches forever. At least not for the same team.
Tell Nick Saban, and you want to go to college. Like, players change all the time, man.
Yeah, man. Good point. So Diamond Rod says, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If Harbaugh stayed and Lamar never played or winning another Super Bowl, they would have said we wasted Lamar's career. We picked a path and we got to stick with it. Thank you. Boom. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you this quote. That was dope. I mean, because this is what it is. Like, bro, every time you move on from a beloved head coach, there's always going to be this type of sentiment. You know, oh, you're making a mistake. Oh, no. Why would you guys do that? Oh, man, this guy was great for you guys for so long. Okay, great. Does that mean he gets a lifetime contract because he won a Super Bowl a decade ago? I mean, frankly, look, John had failed, right, when it came to the ultimate goal. Steve Bisciotti's on record saying, I want to win a Super Bowl, and I want to win a Super Bowl now. I'm in the business of winning championships, not making the playoffs, not winning a bunch of regular season games. We've been there. We've done that. Raiders have won multiple times. We've won, division titles multiple times. Bro, Brian Billick was fired after having an 85-67 regular season record. He won 3 division titles and a Super Bowl. Won 13 games, which was the most wins in Ravens history 2 years before he was fired. He ended up, matter of fact, he got an extension, just like John Harbaugh did the year he was fired.
Yeah, it's super funny. If I ask, and like I'm talking Ravens fans who have a problem with the John Harbaugh firing, and there are a few of them out there, it's mainly media members, not most Ravens people. But if I asked most of those people who had a problem, hey, would you hire Mike McCarthy? They'd all be like, what? No. Like, that'd be terrible. Mike McCarthy and him both have a 62% win rate in the NFL, and John Harbaugh's had a lot more talented teams. I'd argue it. And honestly, like, I just don't even see where we're at right now with it. It's like you have to, like, you eventually have to move on. It's like been 18 years. You have one great time, but after 18 years, like, you're expected to move out. You're expected to find your own living. You're expected to go out there and, like, live somewhere else. You're not at your family's home anymore. And John Harbaugh, you'll still be remembered fondly here. I don't want everybody to have super terrible memories. There are good moments here. But at the same time, it's like it was time to be something different than what we've been. And that you said it a lot, Matt. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And like the longer we would have expected different results, like the longer we would have stayed in purgatory. Mm-hmm. The worst place to stay in the NFL is in the middle. If we go backwards, we go forwards. It's way better than sticking in the middle and hoping something changes.
Agree. All right, so we got a little bit of technical issues with this. It looks like, oh yeah, it was sim. Yeah. So Jay, I think we probably should do it that way. We should just pick our teams and then just do multiple rounds because it looks like it only allows us to have one.
One normal team.
Yeah, one team per person.
One team per person. Oh, that sucks. That's cool.
Like how many rounds do you guys want to do then? So it'll sim all the
rest of it. Then we might as well just do it. We might as well just do all 7 then because it's going to sim right through every pick.
So I'm just going to pick a random team right now.
Oh, yeah, I got the Ravens.
Oh,
hey, man, what's the team you always wanted to draft?
Hey, Jordan, you could go Panthers, your chaos team.
Can I fix the Raiders?
Hey, fix the Raiders, man. Hey, real quick, let's do the chat. What team would you like to see Jordan fix in the market?
What team should Jordan try to fix?
What team should Jordan fix in the market?
Oh, no.
I mean, you could go Rams with their picks. They got
y'all better not give me the Falcons. I want a first-round pick here.
All right, TJ said the Raiders.
You could go to the Jets. They have so many picks.
Oh man. Yeah, but the thing is, if I was picking for the Jets, there's no way I'd keep Justin Fields on my roster. I'd be too wrong with it. I'd be taking like.
Well, he's leaving. They already announced that they're going to move on from him.
But like,
so they're going to go Mendoza or more.
Yeah. Either way, though, regardless of what quarterback options available, if somehow somebody trades ahead of me and gets Mendoza and more somehow, there's some weird.
Why do you have these like nightmares? Like you sound crippled with fear.
Brother, when it comes to Justin Fields, I am crippled with fear. If I have to run that offense out one more time, I'm crippled with fear.
I'm gonna be honest. I heard the Anthony Weaver request. Ravens,
Yeah, I read that too.
To me, I know they like Weaver. He's a Raven guy. He played for them, but that reeks of Rooney Rule, getting it out the way.
Yeah,
here's the thing. Now the thing about the Ravens have employed more minority coaches than probably any franchise in the league. I mean, we do have the first African American GM. Ozzie Newsome was the first ever African American GM. We also had we had an all black quarterback room, right? Lamar, T. Martin, Tyler Huntley, all these guys. So, but I also think that you can kill two birds with one stone. You can give an interview to a coach that you respect, a guy who was an original Raven, while also satisfying the Rooney Rule all at the same time. And they could tell him, hey, just same thing they did with Rex. Hey man, if this doesn't work out, we love for you to come back and be our D coordinator.
Yeah, they'll keep the door open for that.
Yeah, they'll keep the door open. They'll probably talk several hours. EDC is always, he's probably sitting there saying, look, Anthony, you're it's a reason why you're one of the first names we wanted to interview, right? We respect you. We know that you know what it means to play like Raven. We know you're a leader of men, all these great things. But at the same time, we may be looking to go into more of an offensive minded type of head coach, but that doesn't mean that the door for you is closed, right? Like he may be getting let go with the entire Miami staff with Mike McDaniel in them. And if they get let go, all of a sudden Anthony Weaver becomes an option for teams looking for a D coordinator if you don't want to hire him as a head coach.
Oh man, I how many picks the Raiders have. Yeah, I picked the Raiders. I didn't realize how many picks the Raiders have, nor how many needs the Raiders have. I'm looking at both right now.
It said you left the room. You gotta come back in the room. I gotta make sure. I might have to redo this again because I gotta make sure I did all 7 rounds.
I'm not in the room right now.
Yeah, it says Jordan left the room because, by the way, on Pro Football Network, you can only have 5 letters for your name. So Jordan is going by Jorda in that.
Yeah, you don't need much else. I'll try typing in that.
Just leave as well, Matt. Are you redoing the room?
Yeah, I'm gonna redo it. Because I only did it for 1 round, thinking that we could control all 32 teams. So I'm gonna redo the room. How do I really
cool, man?
Do it.
The Raiders need so many things.
Bro, I mean, you got some good things to work with though.
Yeah, everything in the world. I'm working with everything in the world because it's all better than what I have.
At this point, just go best player available. Don't even worry about needs because their need is almost everything.
God, I kind of just want to do an all Raiders draft where I don't even take a quarterback in the first round just to really hurt them. But I won't do it. I won't lie.
The fastest wide receiver possible.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. I'm like Barryon Brown, number 1 overall. Let's go. Yeah.
Some Darius Hayward Bay stuff right there.
Al Davis doing backflips in his grave. He's like, somebody gets it. Somebody understands.
Somebody gets it. Because that's all he wanted to do. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Al Davis.
Al Davis literally drafted like he was putting together a fantasy team. Like he was just.
He would have drafted Usain Bolt if he could have.
Yeah, he just wanted fast guys and big guys.
It's funny. He's my buddy. A mock draft for the Raiders.
Request doesn't move me. I wouldn't want him. I'm with you. All right, so I'll put the new link in the
okay.
chat, guys.
Okay.
Same password though, I believe. Same password.
All right.
Same password. But yo, that is funny. This is gonna be very helpful though when we do our large 7 round with that we do right before the draft when we have a GM for each team like we did last year. This is gonna be really helpful in that situation because now everybody can pick from their crib.
Yeah.
Instead of relying on like us to like do it, and like both of us were doing it at the same time, and I was like the backup just in case something happened.
Yeah, because there's been times where like I missed the pick or the person's like they still thinking, and then they change their pick, but I already put the first pick they wanted in. It's like, oh man, we gotta ignore that pick. That didn't really happen. This will be way more helpful. You could just pick your own player.
Always Jorda. Always living the life. Jorda
life. Let's go, baby.
Oh man.
Hey, it sucks that you don't have a first round pick. Jay.
Jordan, you're used to your last name not fitting. Now your first name can't.
Yeah, but now my first name doesn't even fit. That's crazy.
Put your initials in there. You gotta put your initials. There you go, Jordan. All right, here we go.
Even if you wanted to say my name won't fit, you'd all just do is my nam.
Fun story. When I was young, my uncle gave me $50 to jump on a table and yell "Raider Nation." I did do it. I did him.
I did do it.
Hey, good money when you can get it at that age.
Oh my God, the Steelers are offering me 26, 58, 76. Nah, you do these mock draft trades. I already know these are lies.
I know these are lies.
Nobody's offering me this.
All right. So are you on? Okay, we've started, huh? So it looks like you're on the clock.
Yeah, Jordan's on the clock. He's got a minute to pick this.
Oh my God.
Hey, where's the jingle? I need the jingle for this. Where's the jingle?
Bruh, the Draft Central
I got the jingle.
Comment section is stuck on my thing. Let me see if this works.
Yeah, you got 40 seconds, Jordan.
Oh no, I'm trying to draft Mendoza and the Draft Central comment section is stuck on my thing.
Can I pause it?
I don't know how to exit this.
I think he'd have to pause it.
Pause it.
I'm just trying to exit the Draft Central thing.
Refresh.
I don't even have that. I'll try refresh.
All right, yep, you got. Oh, it took you out. Oh. Shit.
Fernando Mendoza, let's go. We did it. We did it.
It took Mendoza for you?
I don't know.
Oh, it took Dante Moore.
Oh no, wait. It's over. It's over. The Raiders took advantage even of me.
All right, let's start over. Let's start this over. Let's see if we can restart.
I can't leave this chat for some reason.
Let's start this over. Let's try to start this again because that was
so
chaotic. Just like the road trip
rumor.
Man,
room.
Man, even the Raiders
ownership. I think the other room is going on.
Even the Raiders ownership stopped me as a GM. That's crazy, man.
Is it?
And they gave me Chris Bell.
Well, it's already picking, right? They gave you Chris Bell.
Yeah. They're going for blood.
All right, let's try this again one more time, guys.
All right, third time is the charm. Everyone knows it.
Everybody knows that, right? We all know it. I'm gonna do the same password. All right, here we go. Come on, Jordan, get your shit together.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope my chat room leaves.
Get your shit together, Raiders. This is just like the Raiders. Fucking,
I know.
You don't even have your pick ready.
I know. If you don't expect
the Raiders forfeit their first overall pick.
The Raiders are using all of it.
You finally get number one pick and you can't even use it.
The Raiders are using all the time allocated to them to decide.
Didn't they shorten the draft time as well for first round? Like it's now 8 minutes instead of 10.
I think, yeah, they did shorten it. Yeah, which I don't blame them. I mean, you've been on the clock since January. How do you not know who you want?
Yeah.
All right, me and Jordan are in. We're waiting for you, Jay.
I'm just hoping that this random messenger thing doesn't show up in my phone. It's literally showing me like the draft central, and it's like, "Hi, message the draft room." I'm like, "Yeah," because I'm just gonna message all the GMs that are computer bots. Hey, what do you want for the Mendoza pick?
What do you want for the Mendoza pick? Nothing. I want nothing. I want you to leave me alone. That's what I want.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I traded this pick, Raiders fans are crashing out on me.
Yeah, they would.
And that's why I should trade this pick. I need to do right.
Bro, you just like chaos.
Well, it's more so like I need to make it more realistic to what their franchise is going to do. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They didn't embrace chaos too much in recently with the Brock Bowers and the Jonty pick. They went best player available.
All right,
Ruben Bain. Welcome to Las Vegas. We're trading Max Crosby.
You on the clock?
Okay.
All right,
bro. What is this messenger thing? Where's the exit button for this?
I think it's the arrow on the top right. You just drop it down.
On my phone, though? Like, I don't see anything. Let me send a message.
you got 45 seconds.
Bro, this is so annoying. I don't see any exit.
I'm going to look up it on, like, mobile and see.
There's so many ads. Okay, take who I want.
You got 21 seconds. You should be able to just go to
my
draft results on my pick.
Okay. I can't see the players whatsoever, but like at least
there you go. You got
I took a pick. I can't see the players, but I knew that was Mendoza.
Right. We're at pick 14, and the Titans are trying to trade up. They're offering 35, 66, 1, and 2027 second. And I'm going to say no. I'm good. I'm going to stick and pick. And look who's at the top of the board. With the 14th pick, the NFL draft, Baltimore Ravens select Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson, pass rush extraordinaire. See, I told you.
For a quick second, I thought you were going to go CeCe, just because I've never seen him available that late.
Oh my God, I'm up again. I can't see the boards. Let me see. I can see it off of your screen. This sucks on mobile.
Who did you think I was going to go after, Jay?
Francis, for a quick second, just because I never see him fall to you guys.
I know. I thought about. Listen, Francis is a close second for me. I like Francis a lot. I also like,
especially
Vega
if you're thinking about moving him inside.
Oh no, yeah, I can't even.
Actually, I like Vega Ione. Honestly, though, if we do a Kubiak offense, Vega Ione makes more sense. But I would pass on all the O-linemen in the first round, because if you get Kubiak, he's going to bring a better blocking scheme, which is going to make the entire line better. And so in the second or third round, I would then just go draft Jennings Dunker, who I think would be perfect in that system.
Oh God, that took forever.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Like last second.
Ooh, all right. So I'm currently getting a trade back offer from the Vikings, who are willing to give me 49 and 82 for 46 and 115. Getting a third rounder would be nice. Ooh, but the board is looking very appealing for a Colts team that needs edge rusher help badly. And there's also some defensive tackles available. But ooh. All right, he's higher on my board than he is on Pro Football Network. And also because the Colts really need a speed rusher, I'm going Mason Thomas.
I love him.
Our Mason Thomas.
I love
our Mason Thomas. Interesting.
All right. Well, I got an offer from the Chiefs. I'm definitely not accepting that one. So
never accept an offer from the Chiefs.
Never. Oh, I got one from Minnesota as well. We're not going to do that. Ravens fans are going to be mad at me. They're like, man, we want to see picks, not trades. All right. So that being said, you took Mason Thomas. That was interesting.
We need a secure speed rusher.
Yeah, I mean, we got Mike Green this past year. I think in a better defensive scheme, Mike Green is going to have a better season. So we got our interior pass rusher who can also play on the edge. For those who don't know ball, you don't know Peter Woods. He can literally play 3 technique, D tackle, and edge rusher, and he rushes the passer. So stop coming to me talking about why would we get a D tackle? No ball. How about we do that?
No ball.
No ball, damn it.
No ball. All right.
You got 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Okay, I'm going to go. We got Clint Kubiak. I'm going Jennings Dunker. There we go.
Ooh, nice.
We got 2 Iowa guys side by side, Linderbaum and Dunker. Duncan Linderbaum. That sounds great, doesn't it? Duncan Linderbaum.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am trying to see who's
Ravens Flock, how am I doing? How do you like our first 2 picks? Peter Woods and Jennings Dunker. Are you guys happy with that? Talk to me.
And I could barely see the board, which is what hurts the most about them. But I'm trying. I am trying.
Are you sure there isn't like an arrow on the top right of the blue bar under Draft Central?
No, I don't see anything. There's not a bar. But we're going to shoot the shot regardless. We have a guy we like, and we're going to take him.
Have you tried zooming out in your window?
Yep.
All right. Colts are on the board. The Patriots are offering a trade up. Pick 77, pick 94, and the Patriots' 3rd round pick. But I'm never going to agree to a deal with the Patriots. What are we talking about?
I don't know. We all hate those guys, right?
If you agree to a trade with the Patriots, you deserve to not be coaching or GMing again.
Don't hate those guys. What are we trying to get them back to being a dynasty again?
No, ain't doing that. Ooh, I could double up on edge right here. There's Anthony Lucas. There's Zion Young.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting. The Colts do also need linebacker help, and Torian York is staring at me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Piercing eyes. Zakee Wheatley is interesting as well, if they want to get a versatile safety. Ooh. I am going to go York.
Like it.
They need a will linebacker. They need someone with some coverage skills, and there's not a whole lot of those in the draft.
Okay. Damn it. Some of my guys got drafted. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, okay. We need a big body receiver. I know EDC has been on record saying we need that, but some of the guys I wanted are no longer available. I know I got 36 seconds, so I need to pick quickly. We could probably use another offensive lineman. And I got Dunker, who's a tackle, who can play guard. Also, I'm going to go with, I like this guy a lot. I think they have him ranked too low. I'm going to go with Drew Shelton, Penn State.
Ooh, interesting.
I love Drew Shelton. He's got inside, outside versatility, really athletic, can move, can get out in space. I'm assuming Clint Kubiak's our new head coach. So I'm drafting as if that guy, we're going to be running that outside zone system. And Shelton and Dunker can both play guard, or they can both play tackle. Dunker projects more as a guard, and then Shelton can play tackle as well. So
I have an announcement after this draft. We are trading Max Crosby because of what has fallen to us. We're vibing.
Zion Young, good pick.
Well, I took Danny Dennis Sutton first.
So you were wanting Danny Dennis instead?
No, I took both of them.
All right.
I'm the Ravens. I need everything on the earth.
I mean, you could have gone Trinidad Chambliss if the Steelers didn't snipe him from you.
I'm not believing that Trinidad.
Me and Jay are literally 2 picks. Me and Jay are picking like 2 picks away from each other on every round.
Well, this time you're right after me.
Yeah. I am.
Trying to see my players, man.
All right. I got someone, a big fella, to fill out this Colts defense and give a successor to Grover Stewart. We're going with Dante Corleone, the Godfather himself.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Pair that up with, hopefully, he's returning DeForest Buckner.
What we at? What I got? Pick 128. Please still be here. Oh yes, he's still there. Damn it! Do I go now or do I wait? We already took. Okay, 43 seconds. Damn, this thing puts pressure on you, boy.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna just take this guy now because I think he's an excellent player, and I think we have a need, and it allows us to free up some money with another player that I kind of want to see lead Baltimore. I'm gonna take Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker from.
Good pick.
Yeah, you scared me for a second.
Yeah, if I didn't go Torian York, Rodriguez was going to be on a short list of guys I wanted for a linebacker pick.
Yeah, and I don't think he'll last too much longer than this. So, I go D tackle, guard, tackle, guard, and then I go Rodriguez at linebacker. I mean, you lose Teddy Buchanan for the rest of the season. Roquan Smith is not kind of playing up to snuff. And Trenton Simpson still hasn't developed into the kind of guy we thought he'd be by now. So
my boy got taken.
Who?
Ted Hurst?
Ted Hurst.
Yeah, I like Ted Hurst.
Yeah, these Steelers are making a lot of your guys.
So I'm gonna take a different guy, like also at the same position Matt did. Carol Perkins. We're done with Jamal Adams.
All right. You're up and next again.
Oh, no. Trying to see half of the draft board as I could see ads and everything else. Let's get a little weird with it. Bryce Lance.
Oh, there goes the Key Wheatley finally.
Please let my next pick be there. Please let my next pick be there, please. Oh, fuck. He just got picked. I wanted Keontae Scott as a Raven. He needs to be a Raven. God damn it, he's going to be a Raven. In real life. Let's do this whole shit over. Let's start over.
Oh, my God.
No.
Keontae Scott, they just ruined the perfect draft. I was cooking.
I was considering him too, though, so he might have made it back to you anyways. All right, let's see. Is there any safeties available?
Don't you? Ravens fly. Don't you hate when they just ruin a good thing? I hate
any D tackles, 3 techs. I think I'm going to go offense for the first time in this draft. Let's bring in from Indiana, Carter Smith. They're
nice.
Awesome left tackle. I think could also slide to the right, give us some swing versatility and some depth with Braden Smith leaving, potentially.
All right, so we didn't really get into our edge rush talk like my intentions were. But I love this draft class when it comes to edge rushers. And as you can see, based on my draft, I'm in love with a particular team this last college season when it comes to defense. And with the 156th pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Romello Height, edge rusher, Texas.
Still here?
Steal. Yeah, I can see it. That's crazy.
Yes.
Man,
yes. I want everybody to look at my draft board. I mean, Peter Woods, Jennings Dunker, Drew Shelton, Jacob Rodriguez, and Romello Height. I mean, come on, man. This is what I do.
I'll be a hater.
This is what I do. Yeah, man. Be a hater.
I blame it on me not being able to see a full draft picture.
All right.
Well, you're up again.
I know. I'm cooking. Let me cook. All right, we got to go get some offensive help. with this pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Romello Brenton, wide receiver, SMU. Love him.
Back-to-back Romello.
Yeah, love his size. Love his. You know who he reminds me of? It's so funny. He plays same school. He reminds me of Rasheed Rice. If you watch the film, he looks just like. I mean, he moves like Rasheed Rice. Yeah, good receiver. I thought about Eric Rivers, but he's a little on the smaller side. I wanted a little taller guy. Okay.
Not who I love to see on this board with what I need.
3 back-to-back picks for the draft nerds right here.
Yeah, we're cooking, baby. We got our edge rusher. We got our wide receiver. Even though I might go back to the well again for another receiver. I'm liking this. I'm liking the way this board is falling. I want to get a running back. Clint told me, he called me this morning and said, he said, Matt, get me a running back when you do the mock draft today. So I need to get a running back.
I want that. That's my guy. That's my guy.
My nephew? So I made an announcement yesterday. Shout out my nephew. Oh, that's what I thought about Burion Brown. You evil person. All right, so my nephew declared for the draft yesterday. Shout out Deshaun Jones, my nephew. Shout out to my brother Jeffrey Jones. Man, I'm so proud of you. He declared for the draft yesterday. Went to Mount St. Joe High School, committed and played for Wake Forest initially, and then transferred to Alabama. He just declared for the draft yesterday, and this draft network doesn't have him in here. How dare you? You know what? I don't have time to look for him. I'll follow him in a second. He better be there. Right now, though, I have 20-something seconds left, and I need a player. And I'm going to go and get me a tight end because I might be losing a tight end, and I'm going to get Marlon Klein. I like the way I'm inclined to take Marlon Klein, right? I like the way he's a run blocker. He's a smash mouther. He can play fullback. He can play H-back. He can play tight end. He has good hands. He got good size. I like all that good stuff. All right, now.
The Raiders enjoy that you took the one position we don't need. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely don't need that.
All right, back clock.
Thank you for your contribution to the Raiders finish.
All right. Damn it, man.
And be careful because the Raiders have 2 picks after this.
Oh, no. I got to figure out how to move my positions. I'm trying to find what position. Oh, no.
All right, here we go. Oh, he's gone? They took him? Why would they do that? All right, let me go get it. I think I want to get my running back here.
Got 20 seconds.
I know. I like Whittington. I like Le'Veon Moss. You know what? I'm going to take Le'Veon Moss here. Perfect outside zone running back.
And Gabe DeCoste finally stops his slide to the Chiefs.
I'm gonna take.
Oh shit! Hold on. I didn't take. I don't think I took. Did I not take Moss?
No, you actually took Xavion Harris.
Damn, Xavion Harris. I'm gonna take a guy.
I was in running back. How the hell?
I'm gonna take a guy that I think is.
I mean, I like Xavion Harris. Don't get me wrong, but I'm confused.
I'm gonna take a guy I think is underrated on cornerback boards. I'm surprised he's kind of still here, to be honest. He has his off moments, but I think this is a good pick for the Raiders if you're picking here.
All right, Moss is gone. So where did he go?
I'm back.
I think this thing just glitched because I selected Moss. He disappeared. He's not there anymore. But I don't have Moss. So where is he? He's not on the board anymore.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Moss anymore.
Yeah, I think it glitched because I was in the running back. I was in here, right? So there was
you were in the running back tab.
Yeah, so it should have been a D tackle in the running back tab. And I took him, and now he's not there anymore. All right, well, you guys watching at home, we got Le'Veon Moss.
All right. So, did you get TJ Hall?
Yeah, I took two corners.
Oh, nice. All right. Now, Ravens are up again, hopefully without a glitch.
Oh man, that was terrible, right? I was like,
Barry Brown.
I know. Thanks a lot.
I lost Ted Hurst, so I had to take one.
Thanks a lot, bro. Thought we were friends.
You know that's
Damn.
my boy. That's been my boy forever.
There's no friends.
No friends in mock drafting, huh?
Barry on Brown's my friend.
I'm gonna be honest. Outside of early in this draft, I don't really love this cornerback class. Like outside of early, I like some late round guys, but what's your guys' take on that? Am I off?
I took the two I wanted.
Yeah, it really thins out towards the end.
I took the two guys I had high grades on at the end. I already took them. I was like, all right, I don't want to deal with corners anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this corner class. There's some guys that are interested in here or there, but yeah, I see one guy that I'm interested in this cornerback group who Pro Football Network doesn't like.
I like Drew Aller. Took my quarterback. Got my
Drew Aller. All right, interesting.
Yeah, for Kubiak, man. For Coobs. Not only that, I just want to mention the Ravens fans for the ones who pushes back on Drew Aller in my mock drafts that I've been doing. Remember, where does Drew Aller play? Penn State. What's one of the EDC's favorite schools to draft players from? Penn State. Let it all sink in. Plus, he's also a really good scheme fit for Kubiak. He's a really good, like he would be perfect in that play action scheme. He's got really good tools, y'all. It's just he got injured this year. He was actually my favorite before the season started to win the Heisman. What am I way off on that? Were you guys high on LR before the season?
I had a mixed bag on him. I thought he was very Levis-like in his profile, which I wasn't a big fan of.
I was living and dying with Lenore Sellers. That was my early high.
When he went back to school, it was all over for you, huh?
Yeah.
The Colts have selected Skylar Gill Howard, defensive tackle at Texas Tech.
I like it.
Let's get some 3-tech depth behind DeForest Buckner and pair with Tommy Watt.
So I have Xavier Harris, but I mean, I guess I don't have a running back. But Moss.
I mean, we can all just assume that it is Moss because I'm not seeing Moss on the board at all.
At all. Me neither. So it's Moss. Okay, I got Moss. Yeah. You've been mossed. Okay. I'm going to go.
Well, it's Jordan's pick.
Yeah, I'm still deciding.
Okay. Good. I'm deciding what I want right now.
Me too. It's very hard to scroll on a phone version of this if you ever do a mobile mock draft. So no.
Yeah, bro, you probably should have.
I think it left me.
Did you get it?
No, I think it bounced out. It bounced.
It got you Nicky Prongos from tackle from Stanford.
Oh no.
I like that. It's not a bad pick.
It's better. I mean, it's not better. It would have been. I want to take him a little waiter. A little waiter.
That was Jordan.
What?
I mean, you didn't hear that? Listen. This is you. I don't know if you can hear the sound effects.
I'm going to go another Hoosier. Let's get Mikhail Kamara. Double up on the edge.
Ooh, I wanted him.
Right. Raiders, I'm putting my faith on the staff. You better make some good picks right here.
All right, and
you're not in the draft right now?
No, kick me out.
Oh damn!
Man, the Raiders don't.
Actually, well, it's because you don't have any picks left.
The Raiders don't want any.
Oh, you don't have any picks left. That's why.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have any picks left.
No, but they didn't let me make the last pick either.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
They say, "Hey, this one's for the scouts."
They said,
the last one's for the scouts.
And they said they're good. We're getting too many good Raiders picks right now.
All right, this one's a deeper cut. I'm going corner from Southern Miss, Josh Moten.
Oh, I like Josh
Love
Moten.
it.
And now, Ravens pick right before the Colts. Are you going to snipe me?
I'm going to take let me just look at the whole board real quick before I do this.
Yeah, the Raiders wish they were have access to their board, but unfortunately, there's no ad block.
Yeah, we're gonna go
drafting.
I told you we want double dip at receiver. We want to go ahead and get another one of these big body receivers. If he's there. I don't think he's there. Fuck. Man, God's not there.
Who are you looking for?
Notre Dame. I think he's gone.
Who, at the edge?
No, wide out.
No, wide receiver.
A wide receiver. Oh, Malachi Fields.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I want Malachi Fields. So I'm gonna go Jadon Kennedy, corner from Oregon. I like him a lot, actually. I'm gonna see what Malachi Fields went. Did he?
I was originally gonna take him, and then we got wrecked.
Yeah. Oh, he went to the Rams. Okay, cool. Damn, that would be actually a good pick in real life for them.
All right. Colts are the last. Actually, wait, no, there's another Ravens pick. Let's see. Ooh, I can't believe Pro Football Network is this low on him. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a need for the Colts, but they could use depth. All right. For the last pick, we're going with yet another Hoosier. This time, the Rose Bowl MVP himself, Pat Coogan.
Oh, fuck. I was about to take Coogan. God, man, I needed a center, too.
I didn't know he was available that long.
Man, you could have taken him the pick right before. That's all I'm saying.
I know,
Wasn't really
but
sniped.
I thought I could have. I know, but I thought I could wait, you know.
Man, you saw
All
me
right,
take
so-
2 Hoosiers before that, and you thought you could wait. That's on you.
I know, but I didn't realize you were just. Well, I did realize that you were taking out all the real estate on the goddamn Cougars, Indiana Hoosiers. I'm sorry. All right, so I'm gonna go with fuck. I need to get a center prospect, man. Give me
Nick Samack again.
I want this one to actually be good though. Give me James Brockenmeyer from University of Miami. We need a Hurricane on the team. All right, there's my class right there, guys. All right, let's go through these classes real quick. So the Baltimore Ravens, I killed it. Let's give myself a little bit of a, round of applause. In the comments, please. You like my draft? We're gonna go through each draft. I want you guys to tell us what you think about our mocks. So I went Peter Woods with the 14th overall pick. Inside, outside versatility guy. Guy has some violent hands, can get off blocks, can get after the quarterback. Just ferocious, right? I call him Baby Aaron Donald, man. He's got some Aaron Donald to him. He's not AD. And, don't jump off your chair and commit suicide. Oh, he said he's Aaron Donald. No, I didn't. I'm saying he's got some of that violent nature to him. Jennings Dunker, one of the most underrated offensive linemen in this draft. He's a tackle for Iowa, right? And Iowa is a factory for offensive linemen. I actually think the Iowa offensive line as a whole, they won the award for the best offensive line in the country. Jennings Dunker was a key piece in that. So he'll play guard for the Ravens next to Linderbaum. We get Drew Shelton, another offensive tackle guard prospect. Super athletic, can pull, can just dominate in the run game, has really good feet in pass blocking. Then we get Jacob Rodriguez. Love that pick. He'll be the replacement. Him and Teddy Buchanan will be future inside linebackers for the Ravens. That dude plays like attitude, mantra, just everything you want on a linebacker. He reminds me of Zach Thomas from the old Miami Dolphins linebacker. Then we get edge rusher Romello Height. Listen, if it wasn't for David Bailey, everybody be talking about Romello Height. With Texas Tech, right, is the best edge rusher over there. I mean, Romello Height is a dog, right? Him and David Bailey just took over that Oregon game, even though they didn't have any offense. Then I go Romello Brinson, I call him the Rashee Rice clone, man. Like his size, 6'2", good route runner, good hands. SMU's been building things down there. Then I get Marlon Klein. We get someone who can, be sort of like a Kyle Juszczyk in the new Kubiak offense here in Baltimore. He can be H-back, he can be a tight end. He's a good blocker, can catch the ball. Then we go, this is supposed to be Le'Veon Moss, running back, Texas A&M, outside zone runner. They gave me Xavier Harris. That's not what I wanted. Then I go Drew Erlaw. We need a prospect. I know people always say, oh, no, we don't need a quarter. Bro, listen, Lamar is 29. He'll be 30 at the end of next season. He's not replacing Lamar, but we do need someone to develop. And if you got an offensive-minded head coach who understands how to develop quarterbacks and has a system, you could do a lot worse than Drew Erlaw. Drew Erlaw is 6'5", big arm, can make every throw, has some athleticism. He got injured this season. He was a lot of people's favorite for Heisman before the season started. Then I get Jadon Kennedy, corner from Oregon, and then James Brockenmeyer, center from the University of Miami. What do you guys think about my draft before we look at yours?
Well, I really like what you did to start. Peter Woods, phenomenal value there at 14. If he's there, you probably got to get him at that point. Gettings Dunker, very interesting, versatile threat. Also a really good value. You get him at a pretty good steal there. I have him kind of like in like the 30s on my board. Shelton, another good value for your offensive line. Really trying to build up these trenches. I like it, especially with this Kubiak system. Overall, you like Romello Height. He is not going to be drafted anywhere near that. Let's be real. Pro Football Network is wrong on that front. I disagree with that.
Romello Height will be gone.
Yeah. But Jacob Rodriguez is probably going to be there, and I think that's a very realistic, good pick for you guys right there. He was the Heisman defensive player, basically.
Yeah.
Like he was the defensive player who got the most Heisman votes for great reason. Just a turnover machine right there. Brinson, good pick for you. Klein, good pick. Xavier Harris, not the pick, but Le'Veon Moss, though, very fun outside zone running back for you guys. Aller, a quarterback with upside, which at that point in the draft, you might as well take the swing on, just in case something works out there. And some solid picks there towards the end with Kennedy and with Brockenmeyer.
Yep.
I think too, like Moss and Alar, right? Like those are both just swings and like hope. I love the Xavier Harris pick. Like what an incredible pick that came from our draft minds,
Yeah,
no,
I know, man. I know.
No, but
That'd be a solid pick there too.
I agree. If
Listen, I was like, take them.
Hey man, if that's somehow the first 5 players we take, and then I don't steal Barryon Brown from Matt, like I'm vibing. I'm having the time of my life.
Man, because it would have been Brown instead of Brinson, and so we would have been cooking. You got Woods, Dunker, Shelton, Rodriguez, Height, and then Browner. Like, ooh, EDC.
Not bad at all.
I'd be vibing.
Yes, sir. Let's see if we can pull up the.
Here, I can share my screen, or
there you go.
Jordan can share his.
Mine's out. I got out of there.
Well, yours is out completely. Damn.
My entire draft board is like, I'm done. We've crashed. It's like on par with the Raiders. I'm pretty sure this could happen on draft day. Anybody who gets to GM the Raiders for a day has to deal with technical difficulties, lots of ads. We're in Vegas.
Lots of ads.
Right, are you guys able to see my screen?
I cannot get it.
Is he going to present?
The Raiders took 3 offensive linemen in my draft. That's fair. They could take literally any position at any time, and it's a good enough pick for the Raiders. That's the thing. If you're the Titans or you're the Raiders, just keep making picks. They're improvements. Like whatever you get in the 4th round is an improvement on whatever the Titans have now. As long as you have something.
Are you guys able to see my screen right here?
I cannot yet.
Let me see. No, not yet.
Damn. All right. It gave me an error message on StreamYard here.
We could go like round by round and just look at the picks we made in it.
Yeah,
or like
let's
picks
do
that.
that.
Or picks that are like crazy for other teams.
Yeah, I can try to. Let me see.
Or can we talk about like the other picks too, like that other teams are making? You're like, dang.
All right, so.
All right. Yeah, go to the full results page.
Oh, you're at it. You're at it.
Oh, and it's trying to make. I didn't click on something. Now it's want me to pay for something. I don't want to pay for anything. Oh man.
No, you gotta just the full results.
Yeah.
The data. Yeah.
I know, but it won't let me click on it now. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, we had the first overall pick. We listened to everything that Matt said about his linebacker and how he was the Heisman favorite for defensive players, except we won the Heisman. We just won the Heisman as the first overall pick. That's our guy. We picked him at quarterback. What a goat. I'm pretty sure Matt lost the simulator.
I think I messed it up.
Did you lose it?
Rip. Yeah, I think I did.
I mean, I still have it. I'm just having issues with the screen share.
The Raiders couldn't see their picks anyway.
Yeah. Mendoza, great pick for you.
I just kept taking picks because nobody could see me. And I was like, I don't know who's available. I'm just seeing players I like. Cool. Mm-hmm. Danny Dennis Sutton. I like that guy. Boom.
Yeah, you were vibing.
You got Mendoza, phenomenal, like really pro-ready, solid quarterback right there.
I literally could, like, on my screen, I could only see 2 players at a time, and it would take me like 20 seconds to click the position. So I got to a point where I was like, I like this player. I'm gonna take this player. Like, this is the player you enjoy. And then I'm like looking, and then Matt's like taking somebody like Romello Height, and I'm like, huh.
If I knew he was there, I would have taken him earlier.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he was still there. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that then. Romello Height should have been gone 2 rounds ago.
I'm sitting there just taking multiple offenses. But you did do what I agree with, Matt, and this is what I've been telling people. I do not like the depth of this interior offensive line class as much as everybody else. So if you're going to attack the interior of the offensive line, you
take tackles. They project to take it
quickly. But like you need to do your offensive line quickly. Like you can't just be one of those guys like everybody's like, oh, we develop linemen so late. And it's like you could do that with one of the positions, but you need to go early for the guard.
Yeah.
You need to find the guard.
The second and third round I went O-line. So it's just like, just get it out of the way. Don't even because as the draft goes on, the line just gets not quality.
Yeah, I originally liked the thought process of like the Ravens have developed a lot of mid-round guards and stuff like that, but this isn't the class to do that with. Like this is not the glue I want to be molded with.
Now, in the second round, you went Pregnon immediately. That was a pretty quick turnaround there, and for good reason, like you said, very thin position at guard. Yeah. Then at the third round. You went. Who did you go with? Danny Dennis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's very good value in edge rush right there.
I took another guard. I took 2 guards. I was like, you know what? I just need offensive linemen. I'm gonna go slide my center into center, and I'm gonna have him actually play center where he should have been playing. If you're on my Raiders, and granted, like I didn't like him nearly as much as like JPJ. I'm not as big on him as like some people were. I'm not a big Jackson Powers Johnson guy as much as some people. But at the same time, I'm like, I could slide him to center if I find 2 guards in this draft class.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to find.
Yeah, it's hard to find good offensive line.
I've seen a lot of mock drafts that have Peter Woods now going to the Ravens, and it's so funny because when I had him going to the Ravens like months ago, people were like, "Oh, you're tripping. He's not going to be there. He's, you know." And then now you have people saying, "Well, we shouldn't take a D tackle," and I'm like, "We gotta do some research before we get on Twitter and have these outlandish takes about, oh, he should. We don't need a D tackle. We just re-signed John Jenkins," and I'm like,
John Jenkins.
What? First of all, if you watched
John Jenkins and Peter Woods, come on.
You know John Jenkins and Peter Woods have nothing in common. Outside of the position they play, and then they don't even play the same position because John Jenkins is more of a nose tackle, and Peter Woods is more of a 3 technique, D lineman, edge rusher.
So there are obviously 2 I go back on. One is the Trinidad Chambliss pick that I've had all year, but the other one is like I remember people were super mad at me. Because in my original mock, I had Mansour Delaney as the number 1 corner, and it was really early on in the process. And people were like, what? And now everybody's number 1 corner. I'm like, crazy thought. Wow. He's a great corner.
And then afterwards, you got Zion Young in round 4, as well as Bryce Vance in round 4.
Love it.
Really going with some athletes right there.
Yeah, we're balling.
We're specifically some power.
And we go athletes a little later too. This close to where we picked Barry on Brown. We're just going for all aspects of the Raiders. Everybody's welcome to the jungle gym. We're playing in defense and we're dominating. We have no athletes. We have no players. We have no nothing. So we're just gonna build with the ceiling. Because you know what? Our floor is already low. So, we're just going to
might as well swing for the stars.
And
then you went Jalen Everett and TJ Hall. Woo!
Yeah. TJ Hall was a little risky. I'm not as huge of a TJ Hall guy, but with the guys I was seeing on my board. With the guys I was seeing on my board, because I could only see 3 players at a time, I didn't like it. But I like Everett a lot. I think Everett's really interesting.
Then you finished off with Nicky Prongos.
Yeah. Everett, well, that's who they drafted for me.
Yeah.
Everett, I like a lot because he is literally just like a corner that shows up in really big moments. And that's all he does. I'm pretty sure he has 3 playoff touchdowns at this point, which is nuts for a defensive player. That's crazy. Wow. And he's so different. You'll see him get beat a few times in smaller schools. A smaller school wide receiver will beat him. But then he'll show up when he's playing the best in the country and he's like, "Hi, I am here. I am really good." And it's how do you show up like this one week and then when all the lights are on you in the world, but then when none of the lights are on you, it's not as crazy.
Well, good news is with the NFL, you're always going up against the top talent. So hopefully you get top talent today.
It's just such a weird thing with me. And it's I don't want to ever call a player lazy because I doubt they're lazy. I just wonder how much he locks in on important weeks versus other weeks because it's such a different player. It's a player that's playing out of his mind, show up in the biggest moments. I mean, he literally just had one in the first week of the college football playoffs. He had a big play in that. He has big plays everywhere. He had a big play on Trinidad Chambliss the other night. It was the only one who really did.
All day Dalen, if it's the big game.
If it's a big game. When the stars are brightest.
Hey, that's when you gotta shine.
Yeah. I'm not a big TJ Hall guy though, but with my last 3, it was I could do it. I won't risk it. But I'm way more of an Everett guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you went for some upside for there, and you know what? I gotta appreciate the Raiders theme there.
Yeah, I just have to go for upside. As long as I'm hitting on 2 to 3 picks, I'm already better than where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean that's what you need at this point with the Raiders roster construction. It's all about trying to find as big of hits as you can because you don't really have a lot of options otherwise.
See, and like I was thinking about other wide receiver options. Like I said, I wanted Ted Hurst. I wanted some other guys I was looking at too, like earlier on. I wanted Fields, like Matt said he did. And the only reason I went with Barry Brown is I'm like, I'm just living in boom and bust world right now, and like I gotta like stick with the vision. Like I'm like on a vision quest right now, and this is like my ultimate boom bust guy. And so like if I don't take my ultimate boom bust guy, then I don't have him. Like all these other wide receivers available in that range were like really nice medium floor guys, and I'm like the Raiders do really need that. Like they need like 3 wide.
But that's not what they go for.
But I just like I can't do it. I had to take a risk.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Peter Woods for hurting TJ Parker's draft value single-handedly by being so dominant that people didn't pay any attention to TJ Parker the rest of the year.
All right. Well, on to the Colts draft.
Yeah, I love the choice. I love what you did with that draft, by the way. I was going to ask you guys though, real quick. What's your thoughts on this corner class?
I love the top of it, and like me and Jay were talking about it earlier yesterday. Like I don't know what to make of the McCoy injury. Like that's scary to me. Like where we're at, I don't know if it's like scary, but I don't know what he's gonna play like. Mm-hmm. But I love Mansour Delane. I've been hyping him up since the day one. Like I just fell in love with his technique. I fell in love with the way he plays football. And I just think he's such a smooth corner, and he's so interesting to me. He's like my number one guy. I like the top like 3 to 4, even maybe slightly more than last year, which sounds crazy to a lot of people. But I don't love the depth as much. Like there's some guys, but most of them are like smaller guys. I like a lot of smaller guys in this class, like D'Angelo Bonds. Love D'Angelo Bonds. Love a bunch of small guys, but it's like small guy. Like there's some nickels in this class, but it's like if you're looking for outside corners, like I'd rather take it early.
Yeah. There's some interesting smaller guys for sure. The top is really fun with Mansour, with Jermad. You can go like Colton Hood, Keith Abney, Sis, kind of towards like the end of the round 1, beginning of round 2 kind of stretch. Same with like Chris Johnson. Phenomenal tape, but he is really going to be dependent on how he does in the All-Star games. But very, very fun watch there. Julian Neal, Will Lee the third. There's a lot of like good players in that kind of like tier. Hell, you can go Xavier Scott as well. Like there's a lot of interesting guys, and then later on you do get into like a pretty decent tier after that, but then it just falls right off a cliff. Like if you're still looking for a corner in like round 4-ish, you're not going to be thrilled about it.
Like that's what I was saying. It's like when I took the corners that I took, it's like I do like Everett. I think Everett will go around that 4 range. He'll be there. But like the other corner, like I'm not there. And then like the corners past the 4th round, it's like I'm not intrigued enough. But that depends on how many corners you have in that group too, you know? Like some of those guys are probably going to fall from like, I have them as a round 3 grade, but they'll fall past the 4th round for whatever reason. Maybe it'll be like size, measurables, different things like that. But like in terms of like what it feels like right now, just off of like my own head, like I don't think there's a lot of past round 4 corners.
Yeah. And so
let's get into this Colts draft, man. Let's get into this Colts draft. So, with your first pick wasn't into the 2nd round. So, how was that like for you experiencing this? That was good for you, though. Like it's getting you prepared for what's going to be really like. You're going to be sitting there round 1, like watching everybody else open Christmas gifts.
I'll be chilling. The Colts have not had a whole lot of first round picks in the Ballard era, often trading it away for various things like DeForest Buckner, trying to get a quarterback, and it was a conditional 1st and 2nd that unfortunately the Carson Wentz drop off happened after he hit this allotted snap percentage that he needed to turn his 2nd round pick into a 1st. There wasn't a whole lot of first round picks for quite a bit, but we're used to it. We can adjust. We can win on day 3, beginning of day 4, And so I was really hoping, because I know Pro Football Network does not like him, I was hoping Cassius Howell was going to be there. He went a few days before. So instead,
I was too. Yeah.
I pivot to Mason Thomas, a speed rusher, kind of undersized in that kind of like Nick Bonito kind of profile, with just a lot of bend, a lot of explosiveness, kind of like a sawed-off frame. So he's not going to be winning with power, but he has a surprising amount of like upper body strength. So as long as he can somehow get inside or just like go around, he's going to win quite a bit. And he has a very high win percentage. I'm a big fan of Mason Thomas, especially if you use him in like a designated pass rusher sort of role, which the Colts definitely need.
Mason Thomas, man. Love him.
Yeah. So we just need flat out people who can win in pass rush. And he was the best like pure pass rusher that was left on the board. I'm going to take him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beyond that, then in round 3, I was really hoping Jake Golday from Cincinnati was going to fall. He is a phenomenal, like large, but like smooth and athletic linebacker, former defensive lineman, but has a lot of coverage instincts, which is really interesting. But he went at 70 to the Browns. So instead, I pivot to Torian York. Phenomenal player right there out of Texas A&M. Also got some good coverage reps as well. More of like in the zone range, but I've seen some flashes in man that I'm pretty interested in. Reliable tackler, good head on shoulders from in terms of football IQ. So I'll take a York. Then in round 4, I went with the Godfather, Dante Corleone. If I'd gone differently, I would have gone Jacob Rodriguez with the next pick, which is what you did, Matt. But instead, since we went linebacker in the 3rd, had to go with the big fella out of Cincinnati, the Godfather, Dante Corleone. So much pass rush with Corleone. He had like basically like around 3 sacks every year up until this year. As a nose tackle, it's wild. He's been a very effective pass rusher for years past, but he's an older prospect, but very pro ready, a lot of power to his game. Huge guy, can be a successor to Grover Stewart for the Colts since he's on the last year of his deal and he's 33. And he dealt with a little bit of an injury, not last year, but in 2024. Then I don't think he's going to be there this late just because of how much offensive line and offensive tackle is in particular is prioritized. I went with Carter Smith out of Indiana. He's been a star left tackle for the Hoosiers. Very, very impressive. He reminds me a lot of Braden Smith on tape, where he doesn't have like the longest arms, but he has incredible movement, speed, and feet to make up for it. So he's always going to get to the outside very, very well. Great puller as well. Effective run blocker. Got some decent power to him. I really like the value of Carter Smith like this late to kind of give the Colts maybe another option if Jalen Travis doesn't work out at right tackle. He had some flashes as a rookie, but Braden Smith himself, he's a free agent this year. He's gone through his injury history. He's gone through his mental health struggles. We're hoping all for the best for him, but he's also now past 30 as well. And he did have a little bit of a regression and injury this past year. So we'll see what the future holds with him. Colts need some tackle depth anyways. So might as well go with another Braden Smith kind of guy. And Carter Smith, no relation.
No relation.
No relation.
You hurt me with that one. You hurt me with that one. I didn't know he's still available. And like I hated my offensive line picks once I realized it. I'm like, man.
Yeah. Pro Football Network has some interesting rankings with some of these guys. And the same thing kind of happened in round 6 for me with Skylar Gill Howard. He and Lee Hunter formed a dynamic duo of defensive tackle at Texas Tech. But unfortunately, Skylar Gill Howard, he suffered an injury midseason, and he was in like the middle of a big breakout as it happened. So he wasn't able to finish the season. Had Texas Tech went a little bit further in the playoffs, there was a chance he could have returned. So I have chances for him to back to 100% or close to it in time for the pre-draft process. So really interested in him, like fun pass rusher, like very slippery, kind of undersized at like 290 pounds, but like a little shorter and gets like a really good natural leverage. So I really like that. He could pair very well with Adetomiwa Adebawore as like the 3-tech of the future kind of rotation between those two. I like Skylar Gilhoward a little bit better as a run defender compared to Adebawore coming out, but he's not going to be the freak athlete that Adebawore is. But still, very good value in my opinion in the 6th round. I see him more as like a round 5 guy. So I'll take a 1 to 2 round discount on him with Pro Football Network Sword.
I love that keeps throwing on tape and then like leaving for a split second as we get technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think Matt needs to turn off the tape just because I think that's what's like screwing him over. I think there's like some bandwidth or something. Like,
no, I think so,
you can't handle both him and the tape.
That's what it is. Yeah. I was about to say, so whenever I'm on the stage and I'm playing the all 22, it does this. It buffers. But when I drop down and just listen, it plays smoothly. Yeah. So I think normally I don't have an issue because I normally have 2 monitors set up. Right now, I'm only working on one, and the other monitor normally I can put one tab on the other monitor and just play from there. So there might be some bandwidth issues I'm having, but yeah, watch this. When I leave,
that's crazy.
All of a sudden, the tape comes on.
That's crazy.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. That's Matt whenever he shows up on the stage. Abandon all hope because then the buffering begins.
Yeah, man, it's like it can't take me and the tape, you know.
There it is.
That's insane.
Back to buffering. But yeah, I wanted to show some Rodriguez. I just kind of I was enjoying listening to you guys. So I figured, play some all 22 while you guys are speaking. That way you guys can, these guys can check out some of these prospects.
Appreciate the support.
I love Jacob Rodriguez, man. Like he's just so fun to watch. He's just like a back linebacker, sideline to sideline.
Dude, in general, such a fun linebacker class. We've been missing.
It's a great linebacker class.
Dude,
especially looking for ones who can be just absolute menaces in the run.
Like, dude, imagine.
Can you guys even think about a class that was a linebacking class that's been this good? Like, when's the last time we had a class this good?
Honestly, the last one was 2018. That was a really good linebacker class.
Well, like just think about how fun just the following tapes are to watch. Both the LSU linebackers, Anthony Hill Jr., CJ Allen, Sonny Styles, Arvell, and Rodriguez. Like, just in general, like that's such a fun year compared to what it's been for like the last 4. Like honestly, since we had like Roquan, Fred Warner, it hasn't been like this.
Roquan, Fred Warner, Shaquille Leonard.
Yeah. That
Leighton Vander Esch was in that class.
That was the last linebacker class, but it feels like we have one again. It really does.
This one may be the best that we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah. And
it's like the college football is getting back to like having linebackers, like make linebackers great again,
And the league needs it. The league needs linebackers so badly.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, linebacker play is so bad. I mean, really, like there's like 3 great linebackers in the league right now.
Yeah,
it's how one of them hasn't even been playing that great recently.
It's how Bobby Wagner was taking like 10 Pro Bowls from everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, Fred Warner is obviously the cream of the crop, but like Roquan was considered that, but like he hasn't played like a great linebacker the last 2 years. Somehow he keeps getting voted to the Pro Bowl, but
popularity at that point.
Yeah, whatever that means. I mean, the fact that Roquan is even getting voted to the Pro Bowl every year tells you the lack of elite linebacker.
This is a side note, y'all. This is something really interesting that I just noticed with the NFL. So you know how the 5th-year option stuff came up, where now if you make a Pro Bowl in your first or second, like your 5th-year option goes up. So I was looking at it with like the way the next draft works. So if like more players opt out of the Pro Bowl, and for whatever reason, if CJ Stroud or Bryce Young makes the Pro Bowl, their cap hit goes from $26 million to $39 million for their 5th-year option. Like that completely changes everything you think about taking the Bryce Young option. It's like super weird. You have to work an extension almost instantly, and then it makes you think like, is this actually like, for the first time ever, an optimal reason for the players to actually go to the Pro Bowl? Is like, well, now I can make a ton of money if I'm at the Pro Bowl.
I mean, to be fair, we've seen some substandard quarterbacks become Pro Bowlers before.
That's what I'm saying.
I can think of a certain Ravens backup quarterback who was a Pro Bowler.
I can't.
Tyler freaking Huntley is the Pro Bowl quarterback.
I want to buy a Tyler Huntley.
I mean, Falele was going to the Pro Bowl last year. I mean, so
Dude, that's my favorite video of all
what does
time.
the Pro Bowl even mean anymore?
Dude, that's my favorite Ravens video of all time, because Derrick Henry just looks at him. He's like, "Oh, word!" I'm like, no.
You're good.
Our damn-
bro, good.
You know, that was the most confusing thing he's ever been told.
All right.
Hey,
now,
so I gotta get into this.
I got
So-
3 more picks though.
Oh, you got 3 more picks. My bad. Because I wanted to
got 3 more picks in my draft, and in the round 7, I decided, you know what? I'm going to exploit the Pro Football Network big board, because they just are really low on you guys.
Yeah.
So first one, Mikhail Kamara from IU, of course. Again, I went back to the Hoosier portal, and it is beautiful. Mikhail Kamara, another speed rusher, kind of undersized with a surprising amount of power behind him. I am elated to get him in round 7. He could go 3 rounds earlier, and I wouldn't bat an eye.
This man Jay put Indiana and Indianapolis.
I mean, listen, if Pro Football Network is going to put these guys this low and they're staring at me on the board, sure, I'm going to go have some Hoosier bias, because why not? And I'm glad that at bare minimum, I was justified in it, because I know that Matt really, really wanted the other round 7 Hoosier that I got. But before I got him, I got Josh Moten, deep cut, Southern Miss.
I like Josh Moten a lot.
Yeah. Like, he has some very impressive man corner tape, big, physical, got some nice speed to him for his size. I really like his recovery speed. The problem is he's playing against guys who are never going to play on Sundays. So who knows how good his tape truly is until we see him against actually good competition. So in round 7, sure, screw it. I will take a shot on this guy, knowing how much the Colts corners have been banged up, are possibly going to retire. Like, we need some help besides Sauce Gardner. Bring in Moten and see what he can do. And then finally, the snipe of Pat, who gets the Rose Bowl MVP, because just need a center, not particularly. We do have Tanner Bortolini, and he's been phenomenal there. Very good year 2 development from him, and I think he's going to be a strong center for years to come. But Danny Pinter, our backup, is a free agent, and we don't really have anyone behind him. So might as well get the Rose Bowl MVP as a backup center while we're at it. Thank you, Pro Football Network, for your big board. I'll take all of you.
For your big board or lack thereof.
And I felt like I was so realistic. I felt like I was so realistic with the Raiders, because like I couldn't even see the whole draft board. That's how it typically is for them. Like, I get it all of a sudden.
So I want to know, each of you, who is your favorite edge rusher in this class?
I'm a Ruben Bain guy. I love Ruben Bain, man. I've told Jay about this. I've told you about this, Matt. My biggest thing is, man, I don't care what your arm size is if your hands are quick enough to get around it. Me and Jay were talking about that yesterday, but it's just like, I just think he's such a technician. And I know there's like games where like sometimes he disappears a little bit more than you'd like him to. And like a lot of people throw the Brandon Graham, Tom Ball Lee comparisons out there and stuff like that. But I think when you watch games where he plays like against Notre Dame, you sit there and you're like, that guy is so different than anybody else. And he's just a baller. And like, I doubt he's going to scream it on like, I guarantee you David Bailey will have better combine on day one. I don't feel it's going to end that way though. But I like them both. That's no slight in David Bailey's name. They're both phenomenal players. You should be lucky with either one of them. They have one spot separating them on a big board for me, honestly.
Who's your guy, Jay?
All right, I'm gonna not go with a round one guy, but honestly, if this guy had this level of production 2-3 years ago, he would be a first round pick. Akeem Mesidor.
Okay.
He has been phenomenal for Miami. He's winning constantly. His pass rush win rate is very, very high. It's approaching Bain level. But the problem is he's not Ruben Bain's age. He's 25 entering the NFL. So, of course, he's going to end his rookie deal as 29-year-old. But the thing is, he's already really, really good. Even if you're not going to have as long of a pro career, it's going to be a very effective immediate pro career.
I hope whatever team takes like both of them. I hope whatever team takes David Bailey considers taking height. I hope whatever team takes Ruben Bain considers taking Mesidor. I want them together.
Keep them together.
Like both of them should be together.
Yeah, for me, that would be great. But David Bailey is the best pass rusher in this draft to me.
I love David Bailey.
Hands
for sure.
down. He's the best. He's the one. I mean, he is the most pure pass rush prospect I've seen since Von Miller when he was coming out of Texas A&M. Like he's phenomenal. I mean, just the ways that he wins, the ferocity. He can set the edge. He's strong. He's got great length. I mean, the dude is phenomenal, man. Dude is phenomenal. And he just took over that Orange Bowl. Unfortunately, they didn't have any offense, so
I think if you're walking out, I think if you're walking out with one of the top 5 defenders in this class, you should consider yourself really lucky in your first round. Like, it's a good feeling any way you slice it. And that's not a lot of mock. That's not a lot of draft.
Absolutely.
That's not a lot of drafts to me. Like, all 5 of those guys feel like day one studs.
Yeah. Man, did you see? Oh, so this mock draft from Yahoo Sports just dropped. They got Mendoza one, like we did. Dante Moore, Alvaro Reese, Carnell Tate, Spencer Fano, Francis McGill, Ruben Bain. And I agree with mostly all of this. Caleb Downs, David Bailey, Mansour Delaney to Miami. That makes a lot of sense.
He should have been
Keldrick Falk. And then look what the other Ravens do. Denzel Boston. Listen, I've been telling people about Denzel as well. And I've been saying, look, EDC's on record last season saying that, this past offseason saying that, the biggest regret he has is not being able to get the big body X outside receiver, right? And they go another first round wide receiver for the Ravens, but this one is different, I swear. Rather than another undersized, speedy route runner like Zay Flowers, Rashard Bateman, or Hollywood Brown, Boston is an outside ball winner who will instantly be a top red zone option for Lamar Jackson to work with. I'm higher on Boston than most. He has number one receiver potential with juice to stretch the field. He was used as a punt returner at Washington at 6'4", and the body control and route running to a line anywhere. I can already picture Boston being Jackson's best friend on extended plays. Boom, boom, boom. Because I also said the same thing. I'm like, bro, it's not often you get a 6'4" receiver who can run routes like a smaller receiver, who can get in and out of breaks like a smaller receiver. He has extreme confidence in his hands. He high points the ball, so he's a big receiver who plays like a big receiver, but he's also more explosive. So like my comp is Drake London with just like more explosiveness, right? And I mean this article just sums up what I've been saying to Ravens fans about David Boston. I mean, he'd be too good to pass up in my opinion.
Like I wouldn't take him with Peter Woods still there, but I'd still like consider him.
No, you see that? Yeah, you see Woods went like a couple picks. If I got to choose between the two, I'll take him. Now, let's say Woods is gone. Let's say Bailey's gone. Let's say Ruben Bain's gone. Obviously.
See, I was dealing with that one, and I had Mansour, and I took Mansour, and that's selfish, but I'd still do it. I really would.
I just wonder how much Woods' final season is going to weigh on teams, which is why I think he'll be there for 14. I think some teams will factor in, it wasn't a great season this year, but it wasn't a great season for Clemson overall. They have a lot of talented players on their team. It's just the whole team underachieved.
I'm curious to think if there are teams out there, not saying it's a smart move to do, but I think this would be a mindset, is if people remember right, TJ Parker, the guy who plays on the other side of Peter Woods, and that's why I made that joke earlier in the podcast,
he was a dog.
He wasn't just a dog. He was like a projected top 15 pick.
Yeah, like he was being mentioned before David Bailey.
And the thing is, like, he's still not bad. Like, if we watch his film today, we'd both be like, he's a pretty nice edge rusher. It's just Peter Woods is special. But the thing is, I wonder if there's teams out there that sit there and think more teams started to focus on TJ Parker, which left Peter Woods more open. Not that I think that's what happened, but I think there's going to be at least 1 to 2 teams that could think that.
Yeah. I think the Ravens are going to have some really interesting options at 14 because of the way things ended last season. Right, like I think they're gonna have some interesting options because it's gonna be like, well, he didn't have a great senior season, or this guy doesn't have the measurables that we thought, or it's gonna be just like a lot of that type of stuff that
And like Ravens fans, of this one I'll tell you, I've been known as a UW receiver hater in my time because I was not a McMillan or a Polk guy. This is like taking McMillan and Polk and taking both their skill sets, putting it into one person. And not the same way like McMillan more of like could find little areas in the field. I still think Boston needs help with that kind of stuff. But in terms of just being smooth with it, like Polk was never smooth. Denzel Boston like runs great routes. He like high points balls. He moves agilely well enough.
Yeah, he does.
And while like it's not the move I would make because I just think it's a little too rich for where we're picking. If we like for some reason we traded back or something, like I'd be game. I'd be in such a game. But like where we're picking right now, if like this is where the spot would be.
But see, the way I look at him is like, okay, the Ravens are never picking this high to take these type of receivers, and that's the problem. We always want a certain type of receiver, but we're never picking high enough to get them. And this is a time of year where you might actually be picking high enough to get one, but you have some other needs. But I just wonder, especially if you get a Clint Kubiak, I wonder if the mindset going into the draft is like offense, because EDC, that's where his brain goes. His brain goes offense, right? First, I mean, they want to get the defense. But I wonder if EDC, real quick, I just wonder if EDC looks at the defense and say the defense underachieved because of not the talent, because of the coaching. If we get better coaching, all of our players that we already have will play better. Therefore, the massive needs that we assume that we have on defense isn't what we think, right? And Mike Green gets better, and Draymond Jones gets better, and Travis Jones gets better, and maybe Madubuike comes back, and Roquan looks better, and Trenton Simpson looks better, and Buchanan and Wiggins, and all this talent we have on defense, they underachieved this year. All of a sudden, we're like, hey, we get the right D coordinator. Those guys look better, but we still don't have that alpha wide receiver pass catcher on offense. You might have just basically said goodbye to Likely. You re-signed on Andrews. Now, you made that bid. You got to lay in it now. And so you might want a big body target to replace Likely, because Likely is essentially a big body wide receiver. You lose that, you might look at it and say, hey, we need to replace that. That's just kind of some outside the box thinking.
One part of the argument that I would make with it, because here's what I would be thinking. I would think if you're at pick 14, and even though somebody's going to be like, oh, but that could just be Zay, I don't think it fits as well to this profile. Because I think if I'm picking at 14, I have the idea I'm taking a wide receiver. I don't even know if I'm taking the big wide receiver. Because Mekhi Lemon is every bit of JSN I've ever seen JSN be. That is exactly JSN.
Oh, I love Mekhi Lemon, but is he redundant to what we already have, though?
I don't think so.
Because I think Bateman has the JSN profile as well, but Bateman's been underutilized because he's not in the right system. I'm also not a huge fan of Bateman, but at the same time, I think Bateman in another offense would be much better. Imagine Bateman in LA with the Rams.
Here's the thing. If you take his draft profile, me as a draft guy, when Bateman was coming out, I was a huge Bateman guy. I won't even try to front it. I was a big Bateman guy. I liked Bateman in college.
Yeah.
But Lemon is is in a different strategy. Lemon will go and win a game for you, being the entire offense. And I know his quarterback is pretty decent at times, but there are so many times where his quarterback looks at him and says, well, he's down there somewhere, and I just have to throw with hope. And there's games where Mekhi Lemon will have 170 yards, and you'll just turn up and you're like, that is literally 70% of the offense right now is what he's doing on the field.
Yep.
And that's what would make it tough for me.
Yeah, I agree. Lemon's a dog. Don't get me wrong. And the Ravens may get there at 14, and all the top receivers could still be on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of them. Even
Tyson, Carnell Tate.
Even Tyson Tate. All of them could be there at 14, and we could be sitting there saying, "Oh, we have to pick a litter at receiver." Because receiver is not in a great place like we think it is. Zay Flowers is going into the last year of his contract, and he has a $28 million bonus because he made the Pro Bowl, had 1,000 yards. Bateman has, I think, one more year left on his deal after the extension, but he also hasn't played up to the potential that they thought he would.
Mm-hmm.
D-Hop is a free agent, probably going to retire.
Or go to a team that is.
Tyler Hollis is also a free agent, and Tez Walker may be coming into his own. We're not sure yet, right? So right now, you do have some uncertainty in that room. And you could use a younger piece that you're going to have for a longer time, just in case you do lose one of the other three. Just in case for some reason you can't get the deal done with Zay, or just in case the time's up with Bateman, you have another guy. I think Boston makes more sense because of the size. He gives you something different than what you already have. Mekhi Lemon is excellent. He is a JSN type of receiver. But he does have the same size profile as the other three. You know what I mean? He's not 6'4", he's not 6. I don't even think he's 6'3". He's 6.
My one argument to it, and that's the reason I say it, is because if you look at what Clint Kubiak.
Uh-oh.